playing the World Rules of 10 Ball is the game. So before we begin, we definitely have some people that we want to thank. So with that being said, first off, if you like what you see, you got to thank Caleb Baxter of Baxter's Locksmithing and Security Solutions. They're your one-stop security shop, 24-hour service that deals with new and used safes, cars, houses, video surveillance, padlocks, keys, you name it, they do it. So with that being said, a huge shout out to Caleb Baxter. He gives us an opportunity to show these the great view that we have here inside Jay's garage. So if you need anything locksmithing related or security related, go ahead and give Caleb Baxter a call at 815-822-5653. We also have to give a shout out tonight to Jeremy Marson of Marson's Home Improvement. Jeremy has done a lot of work here in Jay's house and his garage. He stands behind his work. He's definitely not someone who half-asses anything, and the best part he's affordable. So with that being said, if you need anything carpentry related, home improvement related, give Jeremy Marson a call at 815-822-7517. Also have to give Sammy's Pet Salon a shout out. Sammy's Pet Salon is owned by Michelle Cool. She is right here in Pontiac at 1402 North Aurora Street, and her phone number is 815-867-6656. She pretty well does it all, anything pet related, grooming, bathing, nail trimming, walking, pet sitting, absolutely anything. If you need anything with your animal, go ahead and give her a call. Again, that number is 815-867-6658. We also have to give a shout out to Chris Wilder of Wilder Billiards. Chris helped us put together the pool table. He helped us recover the table just 8 days ago. Still playing extremely fast. He does everything. He moves pool tables. He fixes pool tables. He refelts pool tables. Pretty much, he's your one-stop pool shop, I guess, in that way. So if you need anything pool related, go ahead and give Chris a call at 309-261-2256. And finally, we have to thank Jim Ettinger of Ettinger's Custom Cues. Jimmy has donated a lot of money into some of the stuff that you see. He helped us. He helped us with the balls. He helped us with some cues to raffle off, all kinds of things like that. He does everything. You need a tip put on your cue. If you want a cue made, anything of that sort, Jim can help you out with that. If you want to order anything, he does that as well. So with that being said, his number, 815-848-5838. So here we go with today's feature matchup between Brian Jason and Tony Simpson. They both shoot in my Streeter Monday Night Pool League, and BJ just had his first session right here in Pontiac. So before I get too far, I need to pop open everything here, and looks like we're already having some issues. Oh, there we go. All right, so looks like Tony won the lag. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. That's I need to duplicate. Point to the one that says duplicate, Josh. Which one is it? Should be something that says duplicate this tab.
Right, the cue rack, right over there behind the chair.
Let's try this one, Josh. There's something here that says duplicate. Right here?
Right there, duplicate.
Okay. Alright, so we got to go to Facebook, and we got to get everything logged in through Jay's Garage and everything of that sort. So, let's see here. I appreciate everyone who's already joined us. I have no idea who's joined us because I'm trying to get everything set up here. But the name of the game is 10 Ball. So we have 16 people here that have taken the time to join us. So Kirk, let's see here. Kirk, Caleb Baxter's number, I am going to go ahead and throw it on right now. So let's see. I'm going to, Caleb Baxter is 815-822-5653. and tell him G1 TV sent you. Dan, you're gonna have to message me on that, and you might not like what you hear. So, but you want to find out? Yep. Go ahead and shoot me a message. So let's see. I have to create a output projector. Yep, there we go, and then throw that over there, and then we're gonna blow this up. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna duplicate this tab, and then we're gonna go like that. There, now we gotta get the live feed set up. Just like that. See how many people are there. Alright, so final steps, I have to make sure that I share everything. So some people were wondering how they could see this, so if you know anybody who was wondering about seeing it, sharing it to Jay's Garage right now. And now I will be sharing to my own personal Facebook page. Boom. Okay, so everything is all set to go now. As always, thank you for joining us again on this beautiful Monday evening. Got kind of warm today, but overall it still has been beautiful weather. Let's just kind of hope it stays like that. A little rain here or there, but that doesn't have to drown us out like it did not too long ago. So let's give a quick tale of the tape of these two players as they are starting their 10-ball set. So, as I said earlier, BJ and Tony both shoot in my Streeter Sunday Night League, and also BJ decided to come over to Pontiac for this past 8-ball session before COVID hit. And BJ, we'll talk about BJ first here. So BJ, I've known for about a year, and BJ is a player that kind of grew up. He has a very interesting story that I can't remember all of it, but I'm pretty sure his stepfather was, man, he was an old school pool player. I believe his name was Taco John. And the thing you have to know about this story is, okay, before I go any further, Jacob, I am not taking anything July related until towards the end of June. In the month of May, I booked June early, and now everybody's mad at me that it's booked already. So I haven't had a good day today with the matches getting set up and things like that. People think that I'm playing favorites and stuff like that, and I'm trying not to. But just so you know, I won't be taking any matches probably until the third week of June. Probably right after Father's Day is when I'll look into it. And Jay and I haven't confirmed, but as of right now, we're also thinking about closing the entire week of the 4th of July. So get back with me in just a couple weeks, and maybe we can get you in after the 4th. But as of right now, I think Jay and I both kind of need a break from this. Our blood pressures are a little high. People are thinking that this is easy, and it's not easy. So just get with me. Not trying not trying to take it out on you, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. So we're trying to do our best, basically, and we can't make everybody happy, and we're finding out that, well, we can't make everybody happy. So anyway, let's go back to the story of BJ. So Taco John. Taco John was a direct friend of Efren Reyes, and that's just a pretty cool story. I don't know the entire story, but there is a slight connection there between BJ's stepfather, I believe, and like I said, I might be butchering the story, but he said it before, but he's only told me once, so I don't really remember. But there's a relationship there between his stepfather and Efren Reyes, so it's a pretty cool thing. But hey, Bart. But anyway, so BJ, I met BJ and we got to talking, and we just kind of connected pretty good. I thought he was a pretty good kid, and kid, he's older than me. He's 5 years older than me, I think. But he really takes an interest in pool. He truly loves the game, and I actually really appreciate kind of what he brings to the table. He's very honest at the table. He's kind of has like an old schoolish soul, with being respectful, not really talking when other people are shooting. And one thing that I truly love about BJ, he's always eager to learn. He hangs around the players that he knows can teach him something, and that's just kind of how the guy that he is. So Tony, I've only known Tony. Crap, you know what? I think I might have lied. I think I've known both these guys for 2 years now. Time starts to fly when you're a league operator and you're doing stuff. But at least a year, I guess I could say. I've known Tony at least a year. Haven't really gotten to talk to Tony a whole lot over the years. We do have a lot of phone conversations and things like that. But ultimately, he's always been very respectful to me, and for the people who know me, I'm huge on respect. And you don't have to like me, but the respect is really, really big. I respect the people that I can't stand. You don't have to be a butthead. And Tony is one of those people where he's just come across to me as a very respectful young man, and that just means a lot to me, because whether they understand the kind of stuff that I'm trying to do, or Jay's trying to do, with the pool leagues, and the tournaments, and Jay's garage and G1 TV and all these kind of things. It's nice just to have people, whether they like you or not, understand what you're trying to do. So I appreciate them both being in my leagues and supporting me. Oh, look out, corner pocket. Yep, BJ's got to send that one all the way up now. BJ put a little more left on that, and you would be able to come through the rails and be able to shoot it in the same pocket. Just have to shoot it a little harder. But ultimately they're two good dudes, and they might, just a heads up going on, they might be a little camera shy. BJ's not, after firing that 10 ball into the corner pocket. That's a pretty hard shot. So BJ draws first blood in this race to 15. Oh, whoa. It's not over yet. Just one. Yeah, just one. I skipped to the end there.
That's not the score already. We just started.
Yep.
Like yesterday.
Been a rough day. Actually, you know what? It's only been. What's that?
Did you guys play disc golf today?
No, he works.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a job.
He's got a job. So
yeah. It hasn't really been a rough day as much as it's been about the last 2 hours. 2 hours has been rough. But again, if you like what you see, Tommy, I see you watching this.
Uh-huh.
You scared to play me, bro? You don't want these hands? Don't pretend that you got off, Tommy. I know you're still watching. Anyway. So BJ is setting up to break the second rack of the match.
Should I go ask them if they want me to turn the music on?
Oh.
They haven't turned it on yet.
Well, why don't you wait till the end of the game, because I'm pretty sure that the fan is drowning us out. So,
I know it is.
yeah.
Yeah, we're scared.
Yeah, that's good. You better hear me. You better hear me.
He is. He's easy money.
We'll play one day. Oh. I just saw your Scotch doubles match. That should be relatively good. What day is that?
The 19th.
That's a good Friday night matchup. That's a good Friday night fight, yeah.
He wants to play the winner of this one.
Oh, Jeff's calling him out. Jeff said he's scared. Tommy, I hear you. I hear you with that. But due to recent events, that might not be able to happen. So if you want to message me, we can talk about why that might not happen. But just know that you might not get what you want. So I mean, I understand. We had to let Josh out of that matchup for obvious reasons, but we can still give you an opponent. Just might not be one of these guys. So bear with me on that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit of 10 ball here. So 10 ball, in my opinion, of the 3 core games of 8 ball, 9 ball, and 10 ball, this may be the hardest game that there is out of the 3. And that's solely because of the break. So the break is just much different. I see that's a nice shot by Tony, but he scratches in the process. So what I've noticed a lot with the break, in 9 ball, you tend to go over to the corner, and you break from, the second diamond, and you try to shoot the 1 into the side. You try to, make a wing ball or something like that. But 10 ball, all those tangent lines are a little different. You can still go over to the corner and try to shoot the 1 in the side, and you can still kind of make the 1 in the side if the table's playing in your favor. But the problem with that is the wing ball tangents are so messed up, it just makes the game harder. So what I've noticed is a lot of professionals break 10 ball head on. And if they don't break head on, it's like it's either a half a ball to the right or it's a half a ball to the left. And I don't know enough, I don't know enough about the research the cut break. I will, Bart. But hey, go to Jay's garage and accept him, will you? But I see a lot of players, like I see Van Boning break from the middle. I see Duel break from the middle. I've seen Billy Thorpe break from the middle. Francisco Bustamante. Francisco still kind of breaks from the side. We got to watch a lot of 10 ball going on with him and Justin Bergman a few months ago, but I think I even remember then. Was Bustamante towards the middle of the table breaking 10 ball?
Yeah.
I feel like he was. Yeah. So they kind of leave the side and they kind of venture over to the middle of the table, more of an open break. So my dream one day, I want to live to see the Mosconi Cup change to 10 ball. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I would love to see 10 ball instead of 9 ball, just to avoid the slop shots and things of that sort and make the break a little more difficult. I know packs are good for TV, but that means somebody else did it already. But it is what it is. So 10 ball, it's a basic rotation game, just like 9 ball is. You start with the lowest number and you work your way up. As long as you call the 10 ball, you can shoot it in early. But if you call the 1 ball and you accidentally slop in the 10 ball, it comes back up. It's the only time that it comes back up, unless if you scratch on it. I believe these players are also playing that the 10 ball comes back up on the break as well. So 10, there's a lot of games out there that just kind of have the rules changed as they go. But the one interesting rule about 10 ball is called the push rule. So what that means is, you all have played, if you've all played 9 ball before, after the break there is a shot called the push shot. And that is when you are allowed to move the cue ball pretty well anywhere on the table. And a foul will not be called on you if you don't hit a ball. Good rattle by BJ. Almost had it, so that just means he's about an eighth of a ball off for making it. So he's giving Tony a chance to tie the game up. But so what happens is you get to move that cue ball wherever you want. And the only problem with that is if you move it in a position that is unfavorable to your opponent has the option to give that back and force you to shoot that ball from where you originally put it. So instead of your opponent shooting it, you get to shoot it. And then you have to shoot it if they give it back. So in 10 ball, that rule applies with all safety, or with all slop shots, not safety shots, slop shots. So what that means is, let's just say BJ's stepping up to the table right now. And BJ shoots the 9 ball in the low left-hand corner, rattles it, and then it snaps up to the top left-hand corner. And in the process, the cue ball comes up and locks itself on the 10 ball. So since it's a slop shot, BJ's going to lose his turn. Troy's going to approach the table. But then if Troy looks at that shot and thinks to himself, I don't like this shot. I think I want BJ to shoot it. So he can tell BJ, you know what, since you slopped in that ball, you can go ahead and shoot this one too. So BJ would have to shoot that ball now that it's locked up on the 10 ball. So BJ's going to go up 2-0. And that's honestly the biggest rule difference in 10 ball compared to 9 ball is that movement. Do you guys want to listen to some music? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jay's going to get some music put on.
Turn it on because that thing's in the way.
What thing's in the way?
That line that Cody Thielen broke off.
Oh. So BJ goes up by a score of 2-0, and there you see Jay wheeling around over there. Jay's gonna go put some music on. Pretty sure the fan that we have going on is drowning out the sound, but just in case it's not, it's really quiet out there. They're trying to figure out the music right now, so they'll be there in a second. I think they're trying to figure out something that everybody wants to listen to. We can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. Appreciate everybody sticking with us here on this beautiful Monday evening. I think the music just started playing. So if you like what you see, do us a favor, let us know. Hit the like button up in the top left-hand corner. And then if you really like it, go 2 spots over and allow someone else to watch it on your news feed too. So click the share button for us. Tony beginning to break rack number 3. Brings the cue ball back and scratches, but he definitely makes a couple balls on the break. Could they hear us?
What?
Could they hear us?
Oh, no. They still
Okay.
couldn't hear us. They just didn't like playing in the
It
dead
was
silence.
it was quiet, yeah. Ooh, they got 3 Days Grace playing out there. That's good music.
I play bluegrass if I want to.
Oh, that's Melvin. Melvin's my boy from Kankakee.
I don't listen to bluegrass, Melvin.
He's a cool dude. Jay does not listen to Jay doesn't listen to bluegrass. But so let's talk a little bit of pool here. So let's see here. Yeah, he just did. Um, So 10 ball is kind of like 9 ball, but ideally you kind of want to keep it simple. So let's see. It looks like they made the 10 on the break, didn't they? Oh no, it's up there. It's 2 8-balls, so that means one of them's a 10. So the whole point behind 10 ball is to make your shots as simple as possible while trying to avoid draw is as much as possible, and only using it when absolutely necessary. 10 ball is called a running game. That's what rotation games are. They're games where the cue ball runs through the rails. And yeah, BJ kind of left himself a little rough there on the first shot. So, so if you if you would ever see me play 10 ball, I've improved my rotation play a lot, probably over the last year and a half. BJ miscues, and that's because I really went away from draw. I started letting the ball run just a little more through the rails. Very simple. I mean, I'm not snapping it with high right or high left or anything like that a lot of the times, but just letting the cue ball, do its own thing, not making it do any more than it needs to. And I've noticed that my run out percentage increased, and also my safety percentages is increased as well. So I enjoy 10 ball. I think 10 ball is a good game. I think it's a good gambling game too. A nice long race of it for some for a nice chunk of change. I think is very testing. In 8 ball, you seem to have a way out. And in 9 ball you got to worry about slop, but 10 ball is just that ultimate game where it has the call pocket like 8 ball, and it penalizes you for the 9 ball slop. So overall, I think it's probably the best game that we play right now. 8 ball is definitely my best game, but I'll definitely play some 10 ball too. So balls that you need to know for tonight. We are using the Aramith Black Edition, so you're going to see right now Tony's getting ready to shoot the 3 in the side. He's going to have to come around a couple rails for the pink 4 ball, which is the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. The 4 ball is going to be pink this evening, and the 5 ball is going to be purple. The pink stripe on the table that you'll see, well, you won't see that tonight, but the differences in the colors are that the pink stripe is also the 12 ball, and the purple stripe is the 13 ball. So other than that, the rest of the colors are fairly similar to each other. The 7 and the 15 have gone from like a maroon color to a really gross looking brown color. I call it the poo balls because it reminds me like if someone were to crap out a pool ball, it'd look like the 7 ball. Yeah, it's kind of gross, but that's all I can think about whenever I see it. So it's definitely an interesting color brown. So Tony runs into the point of the side pocket, giving BJ an opportunity. Hey, Bart, your boy is going to come see me on Thursday. I don't know if he told you that or not. So BJ could have hit that just a little smoother than that to grow out about another 6 inches or so. He leaves himself kind of rough. Now, the shot that you can do here is you can put a little bit of inside English, which would be right-hand English, and you're going to hit it really soft, so all the English takes and comes towards the bottom rail, so he's able to hold the ball, just like BJ did right there. Bart, to this day, I still don't even know what I'm gonna do with him. Like, I think he's a better pool player than I am, so I don't know, but I respect him to death for thinking that I can help him, so I'm gonna do my best to help him. So now we're looking at the 6 to the 8, which is in the middle of your screen. So BJ looks like he's going to lock himself up on that. That's no bueno. So the things you got to know about this table. Starting to get dark outside. When it gets dark outside, the demon comes out. I call this table literally the demon table because it is stupid hard to make a ball on a break. Actually, right now it's not really breaking that bad. 10 ball, there's been balls falling in, but the break, I don't know if we just keep it controlled in here enough to where it's hard to make a ball on a break, but people rarely make balls on the breaks. This is a good shot by BJ. He keeps the cue ball on the rail and forces Tony to have to do something crazy with it. The 9 ball's the right side of your screen, so he's gonna have to come up with a super good shot to get back for it. He's going to have to jack up and unfortunately draw this ball, as I'm saying stay away from draw, because I just don't think he has enough torque to come through the rails. If he does, he's just going to miss the 10 ball. Literally. And it's going to have to be such a smooth shot to get away from banking it. So, yeah, he just hit center there, and as you can see, that's kind of what happens with the center spin. So the question is if it's kissing or not. BJ went and looked. I don't know if it is or not, but from here it looks like it's kissing. So let's see if he chooses to bank this down in the top left-hand portion of your screen here. He does. Too good. So in this case, since BJ just committed a foul, the 10 ball is going to spot, and Tony's going to have ball in hand on the 9 ball. So any point in time you accidentally hit the 10 ball in early, it's going to come back up. So you have to call the 10 ball in order to win the game. So Tony gets game number 3. They're going to be taking breaks every 5 games this evening. Rhett, this would be, I would say, when BJ's playing like super good, he's playing, he's know-how, I'd put him in the 6 category. But overall, consistently, I would say BJ's a good 5, and Tony is about a middle of the line 5. So if Both players are playing their absolute best. I would probably have to say the final score of this matchup would be 15-11 in favor of BJ, if I had to guess. In my ACS league, BJ is a 9, and Tony is a very good 8. So that's how I think it would actually break down. So we'll see what happens. This is also a game. That was a push shot, so Tony probably going to give this back to him. I think I'd probably give it back to him. So if he gives it back, the thing everybody has to know about 10 ball, especially in 9 ball too, when you get a push shot, this is something that a player from Indianapolis told me. He goes, when you push out, you need to give yourself half a chance. So you need to push out to where you have a 50% chance of doing something. And in this case, this is where I give this back to BJ, just because the safe on the 2 ball is really difficult. So it's possible, but it's really difficult. So Tony just plays a hit, but now what he's allowed to do is he's given BJ an opportunity to play safe. So by giving that shot back, I think BJ might have given himself a fourth of a chance instead of half a chance. So it would have been that much harder to do. So BJ just plays safe and ties him up behind the 8 ball.
I'm trying to think. I think it is.
I think it is our first 10 ball match, yep. I think this is G1 TV's first 10 ball matchup. So Tony just misses the 2 ball. I just got a Facebook message from BJ's wife, Sarah, and she did confirm that there was a relationship between this Taco John and Efren. She hasn't really given me the full story, but I guess I got to give a shout out to Sarah Jason, BJ's wife. Says, I love my husband and I believe in him. So there's your shout out, Sarah. I got you. I'm sure BJ appreciates it as well. So BJ's looking to shoot the 2 in the corner, and he's looking to set up the 4 ball in the top right corner, but he's got to be careful. Well, Josh, as far as Rhett and Thomas goes, neither of them have played here on G1 TV, and honestly, one of my goals is always to try to get new talent in here so people don't have to watch the same people. So that was the whole point of G1 TV, just in case anyone was wondering. That's the point of it. I've said that enough times, but apparently, yeah.
Because I don't think he's on here, and I don't think he's heard it. That is the point of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had a good day, folks. It's been kind of crazy.
I apologize.
So if we can make that happen, if Rhett and Thomas Kennedy want to come over to the garage, we'll stream it. So BJ's trying to work his way. That's a good stroke. Good stroke to get back to the 6. And I hope I feel Tony. Tony might not have been able to play pool over this COVID pandemic. I don't know if he has a pool table at his house or not, but I do know BJ does. So if you're seeing him miss some shots where you're kind of like, that's interesting, that could be this. This might actually be Tony's first match back since the pandemic scare. So hopefully he gets it in gear. I know how Tony plays. Tony's a fair player, so he's just kind of probably got to get comfortable. BJ hits that really hard and winds up on the pro side of the 8. Still pretty good, really. Tony's over there pacing. I think he's a little nervous. So he's going to roll this up. He's going to play the 9 in the top right hand. Oh, he forgot G1's rule number 1.
Make the ball.
Jay says make the ball. That's right. G1's rule 1. Make the ball. And I think Tony just apologized because he had been pacing. I think he just said, sorry, man, I'm not meaning to interfere with your focus. But sometimes you get nervous, you know. It's playing in front of a camera is no joke, you know, and especially if this is Tony's first matchup back, it's probably going to be a difficult one. So let's see if Tony goes forward or draws back. I think Tony's looking to draw the ball back, yeah. He's, you guys can't see it, he's a little irritated. He does play better than this. That's for sure. I've seen it. So this is one of those shots that if you can hit really good, you can get great shape on the 10. But if you feel like you can't hit it very good, if you're one of those players who aren't confident in it, this is one of the shots that you just make and you deal with the aftermath and try to make it. So let's see, Tony's left with a, hey Marco, what's up, man? But Tony's left with a little toughie. Is he going to draw the ball back or is he going to go forward? He does go forward. Man, he shoots it in the side or corner pocket here. So BJ is looking to go up 3-1 here in this race to 15. He puts that in the hole to go up 3-1. And again, too, folks, this is a game that neither player have really played. BJ's played it a little bit, but this is actually Tony's first time playing 10-ball, so you got to look at the psychological issue of it going on. You know, he's never really done it before, and I do know he's a predominant 8-ball player. He hasn't played a lot of rotation or anything like that, so hopefully we see him get into good form, but he better hurry because it starts with 2 games, and then before you know it, you're down 4. So you just got to be careful, you know. I've been there where I'm down. Yep, I remember, you know, I'm been down 1-0, and then I make it 1-1, and then it's 6-1 in a race to 7. So it can definitely go bad really fast if you're not careful. What's up, Nina? So Tony getting ready to break rack 5, trailing BJ 3-1. Did you ever put those fly strips up?
I gotta hang that light. Remember I bought the light?
Oh, that's right.
That was one of the things I wanted to get to today, but I did not make it today.
Tony pockets the one on the side, but he might have a golden opportunity here. The 2 ball has wound up by the 10 ball. I don't know if he can see enough of the 2 to even give it a try, though. That's the sad part. So he's got to be careful here. I can hear BJ out there refreshing Tony's mind of the rules and stuff, talking about a push shot. And Tony has to remember that a push shot is not a safety, and that if BJ doesn't like it, he can give it back to him. So he's got to be really careful that he doesn't hook BJ, or else BJ is going to give that ball right back.
At least BJ's being nice enough to let him know the rules and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gambling. I mean, I see the money over there on the table. I don't know if it's for 50 or 100, but...
There's no money out there.
Yeah, there is. Going to try to get up there. It's going to have to be a Sunday. Yeah, Red, I'd do that on a Sunday. I'd set that up.
Oh, wait, we don't have a license for anything. So, fuck yeah, there's money out there.
You don't got no poker machines in there. Who cares? And technically, nobody can get on anybody unless over $600 is won. So,
Right.
Whatever. Yeah, if Thomas is available, boys, I'll let you guys come up here and do that. So. This is a shot that if I was BJ, I'd have taken.
Yeah, better check with somebody else first. Make sure they don't get butthurt about it.
Yeah, well, suck my millimeter, Peter. So, this is a shot that I would jack up on, and I would put a bunch of low right-hand English on this ball, and I would fire at this thing so hard. I would have called the 10 in the corner. Maybe they're not playing early 10s. I don't know. That's something that wasn't talked to me about after. What? Oh. Whatever.
That's what I said.
Doors open.
It is. The invite was thrown
What's up,
out.
Chad? What's up, Mike?
Chad, what's up, buddy?
BJ shoots a nice shot, a shot that is missed by a lot of players that use the point to come back out for the next shape on the ball. So he's got the 3 that'll go past the 7. He's got to be really careful. Tag you in what? Good shot by BJ.
Tag you on what, buddy?
Yeah, BJ's starting to find some rhythm here. He's starting to hit the balls pretty solid, so Tony better find his stroke pretty quick, because it looks like BJ's developing his. Uh-oh, look out. Oh boy, I think he got out there.
You got a little bump love there, didn't
I think he got out there.
Yeah, he got there. Good shot. This is another shot that you got to be careful. Some players are going to go forward. I would actually just draw back, and I would take it from where it's at. When you go forward, you got to look out for the side pocket. Yep, that's a scratch shot. Let's see. Tony's not used to playing in rotation, and he doesn't. I don't think he knows quite how to move the cue ball around the table as well as BJ does. Just because 8 ball's not a game where you move the cue ball around the table as much. It's a lot of stop shots and things of that sort. So this looks interesting. It looks like Tony's almost going to draw this ball. He did, which makes me kind of wonder why. Kind of interested to see what he's going to do here. He's got to be careful if he rides the 10 ball all the way up, he could potentially scratch in the side if he's not careful. Yeah, oh, look out. So, but he's left, he's left BJ a shot. You know, it's not a scratch shot. BJ's just got to settle up and make it. But this is one of those rattlers. It's kind of close to the side pocket, so the side pocket tends to get out and jump you. So he does rattle it, goes in, but it's all right. So they're going to take their first break. And we're going to take this time to talk about the next matches that are coming up on G1 TV. We have Abe Shade versus Dustin Wilgus coming up this weekend. That is going to be one of the best matches to date here on G1 TV. So Abe is from Peoria. He's won the U.S. Amateur Open that's been stationed in Florida, that's hosted by the APA. And we have Dustin, who's been a participant in that, who I've known for quite a number of years and has been, man, he's a great player. He took a hiatus to, maybe made some life changes. I know I haven't talked to Dustin in a long time, but I do know he's been working hard and things like that. I've been following him a little bit, but he's coming back out of retirement to take on the big dog, the Hurricane himself. So we can catch that on June 13th. June 20th, we've got some more Peoria action. Josh Donaldson coming up here from Peoria to take on Ottawa's Joey Dyer. It's going to be a nice long race at 10 ball between two advanced players, so we're going to get to see some good action that's going on there. And then coming up the following Saturday, the final Saturday in June, the 27th, we're going to see Josh Franklin take on Ryan Ponton, two young guns, two master players. They're going to go at it in some intense 9-ball action. So we're going to catch all of these good matches coming up right here on G1 TV. So if you want to check out some good action and sweat some action, so people will be taking side bets. They have been taking side bets, so it'll be a good chance to get some sweat bets going. So we're going to get back to the action. So BJ's up the first race to 5 by a score of 4-1. Oh, Rock Falls. It says right there, all locations downtown Rock Falls.
Stupid.
So we were looking at a tournament coming up. It looks like, man, I'm really interested. I've seen some tournaments pop up on my news feed, and I'm kind of interested, just to hear about them because right now we're only allowed like a maximum of 50 people legally in a location at a time. So I'm kind of interested to see how these pool tournaments are going to go when you're only supposed to have 50 people. But maybe the law enforcement's just kind of like everybody else in the state, and they're just kind of like screw our governor. So I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of people out there who feel that way. I don't quite know how I feel about it. I'm a teacher, so it just kind of gave me like an extra 3 months of summer vacation. Kinda. I'm gonna have to ask Tony if he's nervous, because I just get the vibe from him that he's nervous. He's out walking with a rag in his hands. Nothing to be nervous about. Just playing pool, it is what it is. So, BJ pushes, and Tony gives it back. He doesn't like it. Yeah, they did. So, if I was BJ, I'd be looking to play safe behind the 8 ball here. Doesn't get there, though, and leaves a combo for Troy. Well, I was talking to Troy earlier, for Tony. So Tony's got a 2-4 combination that he's going to line up, but he's got to be careful because he has to watch the 2 ball. That middle ball, it'll move somewhere, so he's got to play position on the 2 ball because it's the lowest numbered ball on the table with pocketing the 4 ball. So the 2 ball looks like it's going to slide to the left. So, yep, we got to make sure that there's a pocket there. So that would have been a shot to shoot a little softer, but to actually kind of shoot with some high English, because the 2 ball is going to escape the cue ball, and it's going to move, kind of take the path that it did. And the cue ball would have rolled forward a little more. So let's see what Tony elects to do after that, because he was not given a strong shot here. Let's see, it looks like he's playing the ball in the bottom left corner. Oh, he played a billiard. Was it the combo? Is that the 10 ball? Yeah. He's playing a combination shot. And leaves BJ a little rough, gives BJ an opportunity to play safe behind the 9. Just a little tap. Yeah, just like that. Good shot for BJ. Thanks everybody for joining us this evening on G1 TV. Hey, make sure for those of you who aren't a part of it, head on over to Jay's Garage. Type in Jay's Garage in your Facebook search icon, and when it pops up, you'll be able to see like some pool sticks, a picture of the color of money, and 2 spectator chairs. Go ahead and go in there and like that page, and you'll be able to see everything that we got going on. So Tony's looking at kicking the 2 ball in the side pocket past the purple 5 and past the pink 4. It's a hard shot. You got to be really careful watching where the cue ball goes here, because when you do shots like this, they tends to find a pocket. Oh, look at this. Hell of a try. Good hit and everything. Doesn't leave BJ a whole lot from the looks of it. He might be able to make it. I can't quite fully tell. Oh yeah, you can see the whole thing. this over by where Mark Harder lives?
I think so. Is Mark doing any better? He had surgery on one of his feet or some shit.
I like that home. Share that to my Facebook page.
So ten ball involves a lot of safeties, and BJ, I'm not entirely, or I'm sorry, Tony, I'm not entirely sure is in the safety field. Like I said, he's a predominant 8-ball player, so I don't think he's used to playing as many safeties as a game of 10-ball needs. So that would be the advice that I would give Tony. If you're out of your element, look to play a little more safe, because that's just what it is. You know, you only have one ball that you're able to play shape to every time, and if you really don't like it, you need to play safe to try to get a better opportunity to do that. No, BJ just kills the ball there. So he's going to the 7-ball next as the 6-ball's already been pocketed. So BJ maybe looking to draw the ball back to the side. No, it just kills it where it's at. Okay, that's a good shot. So he's going to have to put a little bit of high right on this to come across the table to shoot. Well, I guess he could come backwards too if he wanted to. He's kind of in a weird spot. Maybe just stun the cue ball off of the rail and come out to the middle of the table. Yep. Yeah, he hit it kind of firm. But that's okay. The 9-ball's in the pocket. He just got to focus on making the ball here. Bringing the cue ball to the top rail and back out towards the middle of the table. Let's see here. Rattles the 8-ball. No bueno there. So Tony's got a couple tough choices to make. He's got the 9-ball in the jaws, and you can tell by the way walking around the table he's not really comfortable with it. With the 8-ball being in the jaws too. So let's see where he opts to put the cue ball. He puts it on the rail, which isn't really the best position for Tony here. He's got to be really careful because that English could hold off the rail, and he's not going to have a very good shot at the 10 if he's not careful. So it's a good shot. He hits it pretty smooth. Good out to make it 4-2. As long as he takes his time. I might have just cursed him. There it goes. There it goes in the hole. Tony's second game. Oh, is that because you're not friends with him, maybe?
That's probably why. Because it's on loose and kind of for sale.
Game number 7, getting ready to get on its way. Tony's going to bust it up. Didn't hit it very good. Still makes 2 balls, but makes a cue ball too. So BJ's got a cluster of balls going on there. That is the 8, 9, and 10 ball that is in the cluster. So he's going to try to go into it now. Misses it, which makes a lot of trouble. Misses the bank. So now what Tony needs to do is he needs to pocket the 4 ball, and he needs to roll up, and he needs to push the 5 ball past the 7, but he needs to leave the cue ball behind the 7 to force a kick shot for BJ to shoot at. So see what he chooses to do. But as I was saying earlier, 10 ball, when you can't get out, you got to be able to play safe. If you're just going for a bunch of shots, that's going to lose you the matchup, and it's going to lose you the matchup really fast. So Tony winds up going the other way and hooks himself on the 5 ball. See what Tony opts to do here. You just don't want to leave the 5 ball out in the open. That's a pretty good shot. He leaves it in the open to where BJ can return the favor, but overall he didn't leave BJ a progressive offensive shot. So it's not too terrible. He's just gonna have to play safe. BJ's gonna roll up. Oh man, he made that ball. Wow. Oh, that's a good shot for BJ. I'm just not used to playing 10 ball so offensive. It's that's definitely something that I would have played safe on, but PJ busts the whole rack apart, so then he calls the 10 ball to end the rack early with the 8 ball still sitting on the magic rack. Yeah. Yeah, he called it early. Yeah, it's a W. Oops.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The players, both these players know of a local kind of tournament that I do here in Pontiac. And Streeter, I put my leagues up against each other in something that I call the G1 Showdown. So, yeah, Jay's played in it the last 2 years, and it's pretty much a Moscone Cup between Pontiac and Streeter. So it's a pretty cool format, and one thing that they're used to in that is they have a referee, which the last 2 years has been myself, and I will
come up if they're using a magic rack. I will remove the rack like a professional, would and all that. And they're just kind of not used to kind of moving the balls around like a referee normally does to remove the magic racks. So they were kind of sitting there kind of like, what if we put them back in the wrong spots? And they didn't know the headset was wireless. I could always go do that for them if they wanted me to. So I went out there and told them that. What's up, Danny? Yeah. Oh, I got a match set up for Danny. I just can't. I got a guy from Peoria that wants to play him, but finding a time is the issue. Yep. Yep. Well, it's not as much of that. It's as fitting them in our current schedule.
It is true, because it's pretty full. Some people don't understand that.
Some people never will understand. It is what it is. What's up, Kalen?
Hey, Caleb.
What week?
That's why I want to look at it.
Well, I think. Hey, Danny, if you're still watching, question for you: are you available Saturday or Wednesday the 17th?
BJ tries to play safe behind the 3. What?
Not the 17th, because remember we said Tommy could keep that, right?
Oh,
That was the day you and Tommy were supposed to play, right?
I'm not playing.
What about? I don't think that should really matter. What do you think?
Well, Tommy said he still wanted the date.
I know, but I've only talked to
We're doing the 19th now.
I've only talked to one other person right now. So
Yeah, we can always move Tommy to the 25th.
no. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
I'm saying match Tommy up against Danny.
Oh, well, there you go. Right there.
Yeah.
Let me send Tommy a message. Right now.
I don't know. Danny hasn't commented anything. Danny, I got a match for you. So Tony is staring at the 2 ball. He may be trying to make a hole through the 3 ball that he's hooked himself behind. Anthony, it's in Jay's garage. I posted it. It's in Jay's garage's Facebook page. It's in the announcements section of the Facebook page. So Tony's gonna looking like he's gonna masse around it. Man, there are a lot of flies in here today. I don't know what's going on. I didn't see any earlier when I was in here. So Tony's decided to kick at the 2, it looks like, instead of massing around it. Oh, stop, cue ball. Oh, that would have been a good shot. Good try for Tony. So BJ has a bank shot offensively. He has a safety to send the 2 ball either way and use the 3 ball and the 4 ball as a blocker. But it looks like he opts to shoot the 2 ball and move its way to the 3. So this shot here is a real slow roller. Yeah, did you find it, Anthony? BJ shot that a little too hard, so If BJ would have slow rolled that ball, he'd have been able to play the 4 ball in the bottom right-hand corner. Anthony, if you're still watching, you got any idea when we're going to finish that tournament over there on Mondays? Because I've got matches for this on Mondays right now, and I kind of need to know when I need to be over there. Any idea for Ideal's point of view? Looks like the 27th or something. You can allow 50 people at a time in your bar or something like that. So it's a super high and a good stroke slow roller would put Tony on the purple 5 ball from the pink 4. Thanks, dude. So Tony's thinking. Like I said, I think he's just not used to playing the game. It's a lot harder when you can only shoot at 1 ball versus, being able to play all solids or all stripes. So, hey, Joey. Oh, look out, 8 ball. That's a big 8 ball. Yep, Joey will be here Wednesday night in Scotch doubles action. So if the 5 doesn't go by the 9, this is a shot. This is one of those safety shots. Yep, he's just going to put the cue ball behind the 9 and move the 5 to the other side of the 9. Oh, he let him see it. Yeah, he didn't. See, the idea was there. And you'll see in 10 ball, you'll see a lot of shots just like that, where you're just rolling up right on another ball. So Tony's got to be careful. Not much, Joey. How you doing, man? Really? Brian Matson. Go ahead and go to Jay's Garage and add that. That is Blake Baker's father.
Really?
Yep. Well, that would be cool if Blake was in town to get him some action in here. That's a good combination for Tony to keep control of the table here, but now he's got to be really careful about the 9 on the side. I'm going to try to roll forward just to get as straight in as possible for a slow roll shot. If you roll too far, you can still speed it up a little bit into the side and come off the rail, but this is definitely a couple slow rollers for me. I don't really want to have to hit really hard. Oh, he misses the shot. I think we need to get that boy a shot. Loosen him up a little bit. Uh-oh. Look out, cue ball. So Tony's looking to set up to come off the rail, and I don't believe in coming off the rails really, this way. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to put the cue ball on the other side of the 6. On the other side of the 6 where Tony has the cue ball right now, just on the mirror side, and because I just would prefer to go towards the 9 ball. Good
good shot. Oh, misses the 10 ball. Well, BJ's got his Mountain Dew, but I don't think Tony has his Rumplemints.
I don't have Rumplemans. Should find something good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Really hate to cause issues, but I'm just talking to myself, trying to just get this day over with. Did you win that game? Did you just win or lose? Alright. Chris Peterson should play Tommy Kruger. He said that Anthony should play Tommy, and I said Chris should play Tommy. For a minimum of $500.
Get it?
Right, country? Tommy's easy money. You should be able to bet 1,000 against him. Even Tommy knows he's easy money. Tommy will tell you he's easy money if he's still on here. Tommy, tell country tell country you're easy money, man.
Actually, Anthony, this is kind of almost my weekend. I already told Obi what I would play him for, Chris. He doesn't want to do it, so it is what it is. Yeah, I've had matches in here, Anthony. Did I have one Thursday of this week? Last week? Yeah, you played Cody, right? Last week. So I had matches Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today. So tomorrow's my off day. This is kind of like my Friday.
You need those days to relax.
Did you tell him that we can't play?
Not yet. I'll do that through this. So looks like a safety here, keeping the cue ball on the bottom half of the 9.
Whoa,
Even better.
that works too.
Even better, sending the cue ball all the way down table.
Robbie Breeze.
What up, Robbie? That's what a professional would have done. That's a pretty good shot by BJ, is to thin the 1 down in that cluster. I think a professional might have been able to get it past the 6 on the end rail, but that's why they're there and we're here. That's just what it is. Overall, it's a good thought, and the good thoughts lead to the good shots, so kudos to BJ for that. So,
BJ may have been watching some streams of professional 10 ball being played this week.
ugh, margaritas are so gross, Anthony. I do not like margaritas. I relaxed the other night.
Oh, yes, you did.
The other night was my quote margarita night. So
I relaxed the other night
Tony gets a good hit and brings the cue ball back down table to hook BJ on a 1. Not really a kick shot around here. BJ, I think, is going to pull out the jumper and try to jump to make contact with the 1. So let's see how well he hits this. BJ doesn't mind jumping. That's a good hit nonetheless. Cue ball chasing the 1. Oh, and hits it good. Yeah. Is this the house? Cool.
I'm gonna rent Josh a room out here pretty soon. I'm gonna rent you a room out here pretty soon. We had me on.
That's a super good hit by Tony to. I can't tell if he's hooked BJ or not. I thought he would.
BJ hit that, kick at it, or is it just gonna jump again?
I don't. I think he can hit it. He's shooting at it like he can hit it. No, come on, it's got to get by the 3. Ah, no bueno there. So Tony's got an open shot on the 1 with the 2 ball down table on the left-hand side. Top left-hand side, kind of in the middle of the table. So let's see if Tony decides to go through the rails. Yeah. Gets some love with the 4 and the 7 to get a shot on the 2 in the side. But now he's got some issues with the old 3 ball down there. Let's see if he can maybe use the rail to come back down past the purple 5 ball. Well, he decides to stay straight, and with this being the case, I think I'd probably be looking for a defensive shot to try to hook the cue ball on the 5 ball and send the 3 ball to the left side of the screen. I think he's calling the 9 ball. I can't tell if the 3 goes by the 9 or not. Oh, yeah, it did. It did go by the 9, but no love leaves the 3 ball locked in the corner pocket. But again, BJ's got a tough shot. It's in the jaws there. He's going to try to go. Man, I hate this shot because if you're not careful, you miss the ball altogether. He miscued. So Tony looks like he's gonna try to go through the rails and come up to the right side of the 4 ball to shoot in the left. Yeah, he didn't hit it very hard. Kalen, if you're still online, just type that you're still here because I got a question for you. Tony misses the 4 in the corner. BJ goes through the rails, hits it pretty stiff. Oh, I think he wanted to miss the stripes there, but I think he clipped the 10 ball. Now he's pretty good on the 5-9. He's just got to control the 5 ball. Again, with those middle balls, when you're not straight in, that ball's going to go haywire a little bit, so you just don't have to control the cue ball. You have to control the middle ball, too. And in this case, it's the 5 ball. So the 5 ball looks like it's going to move to the bottom portion of your screen a little bit. So this is a shot that I would put some backspin on to try to keep the 5 ball going forward. Good shot for BJ.
There you go. Nice
Yep,
shot, BJ.
good shot. Because if you put anything else on it, the 5 ball kind of stuns and it kind of doesn't go towards the pocket. So talk about physics and balls reversing if you're putting one type of English on one and then a different type on the other. So BJ comes through the rails looking to shoot the 6 ball on the top left-hand portion of your screen. Gets up there enough to do it. A little bit of high left coming back down the table. We'll put the 7 ball in the same pocket. Misses the 6 ball. BJ's looks like he's having a lot of trouble with his stroke. It's very inconsistent. He'll settle down and he'll make a nice shot. And then it's like when he wants to put some English on it, he'll shoot it pretty quick and kind of wind up shooting it into the rail a little bit. He's not taking his time like he would on a regular shot. So got to take your shot. Got to take your time with every shot, not just a couple. BJ tries to. All right, Tony tries to cut that ball and doesn't quite get there. So BJ is going to be looking to go up 7-2 here. He's going to. If I'm BJ, I'm actually kind of in a bad spot. I don't really like where the cue ball is. Might have to run into the 8 ball just to make sure that you have some kind of shot on it. Yep, good shot. So now you just put a little bit of high outside English, which is high right-hand English for this shot. Maybe even just a little more right than high, just to bring it off the rail back to the middle of the table. Look out, look out. Keep going. There you go. Yeah, you had to avoid the side pocket. That's why I said add a little bit more of the outside spin than the high English to pull it away there. So BJ goes up 7-2. And I think you can really just tell that Tony's just never played 10 ball before. He's having a lot of trouble. I can definitely vouch for Tony. He is a fair player. Yeah, he is a fair player. He just he came into it when I was explaining the rules before we started the stream today, and he'd mentioned that he a little out of his comfort zone. He's never really played the game before, so. BJ and Tony were actually nice enough to they kind of did this for me. I posted in Jay's garage not too long ago that I was looking for some rotation matches because all the matches that were being played were 8-ball matches. And the thing you just got to know about 8-ball, like it's pretty rare that I'm not in here doing commentary. I think I've only twice.
I've only done it 2 times so far.
Yeah. So and both the times that I haven't been in here, I've been playing. But I can't remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so I posted on there. I'm like, man, I want to see some rotation because you call the offensive shots a little different. You call the defensive shots a little bit different. And BJ messaged me and said, hey. Tony messaged me and said he'd be interested in playing, and I asked him if he wanted to play 10 ball, and he said he'd do it. So they're kind of doing it for me in a way, just to give something different for everybody to watch. So it was awfully nice of them to play a game that both of them aren't truly familiar with. One is just more familiar than the other. So again, with this shot, this is a safety as well. You got to look to try to put the 1 ball on the left side of the 3 and send the cue ball down behind the 7. So if you go for the offensive shot here, you just kind of have the potential to sell the rack out. So uh, thing about 10 balls and 9 ball racks when they're out like this, you just got to be really careful because if you leave a good player a starter ball, you're not going to get back to the table. They're going to run the rack on you. So Tony's got to be really careful here, or he could be potentially looking at 8-2 because I've seen BJ run a 10 rack before, a 10 ball rack before. I know he's capable of doing it. So goes for the bank shot, calls the bank. That is definitely a hard offensive play for Tony. Leaves himself with an off-style cut going away from the 3 balls. So he's got to be really careful again as to how he shoots this shot. This would be another safety that I would be that I would maybe focus to play to try to hide the cue ball behind the 4 and send the 2 ball couple rails on the other side, the top side of the 4 ball, just to force BJ to kick at it. But it looks like Tony's gonna go for it. So the shape on the 3 is hard. You almost want to pull it backwards. Yep, and he scratched. You almost wanted to pull it backwards, and if you saw the gap that the 2 ball just went through, that's where I was thinking about maybe trying to bring the cue ball before between the purple 5 ball and the 6 ball, the green 6 ball there on the table. That would have been fairly hard, but if I'm shooting that shot, I'm probably playing a defensive shot, I would think. But BJ's got ball in hand on the 2 ball now. Looking to work towards the 3, and this is another shot here. We was talking about draw earlier. I'd put the cue ball on the other side and roll forward to the 3 ball instead of drawing or stopping the cue ball where it's at. Just feel more confident. I would also try to get on the underside of the 3 because I feel more confident in getting past the 8 ball up there, sliding past the 8 ball to shoot the 4 in the corner, than working at getting in the gap. I think like BJ's setting up. BJ's setting up to get in between the 10 ball and the 8 ball gap to shoot the pink 4 in the top left corner. I would have gone higher than that. I would have gone above the 8 ball because he's close to the rail here. It just makes the shot overall goofy. So by moving the cue ball up higher, by playing a different shot pattern to get to where he is, he could have saved the goofiness. Gonna jack up and follow through. Yep. Good shot. Bringing the cue ball back for the 5 on the side. This is a kind of a tester for BJ. The cut in the side pocket, top side pocket. Where the cue ball goes, I'm not really sure where he's gonna put it. We're gonna have to see where he cues it because BJ could try to snap with right hand English a couple rails backwards. Could try to use center and go through the 7. Yep, kind of goes through the 7 there. He had a little bit of draw on it. You could see when the cue ball made contact with the ball that there was some draw on it. But this shot here, if he's straight in, it's got to be a draw shot. Unfortunately, that's just the best route to go about it. Just a smooth stroke and follow through. Bring the cue ball back about 5 inches. Don't have to hit it really hard. Oh, he hit it really hard. But he's still on the top side of the 7 ball, which gives him a chance to slide down table. This is a low outside angle shot, a low right shot to just drag the cue ball down to the bottom left-hand diamond. See how it's kind of going down there? Yep, to get a good shot on the 8 ball. Now this is a high angle shot. Come across the table, off the top rail towards the bottom rail to get shape on the 9 in the corner. Runs into the 10 ball instead. I don't like to bump into balls really. I would have avoided that, but that was just me. So probably a little bit of top left just to come straight back. Yep. Pocket the 10 in the corner. Got to buckle down here and take his time to go up 8-2. on Tony. Yeah, puts it in the hole. Look out, scratch. BJ wouldn't have liked that. So that is. Yeah, BJ settled in probably about, I think, 4 games ago. But anyway, I'm going to take a break and use the facilities, so we'll be right back. I'll show you the matches coming up on G1 TV. We'll be right back. Okay, so Tony's finishing up whatever he was doing there, so we're gonna get back to the action. No, Josh, you didn't miss anything. We're only about halfway through the extravaganza, so you didn't miss nothing. Not too much anyway. Didn't miss nothing. Look at me, I can't even speak English. All right, so the score is 8-2, and I stepped outside, talked with Tony a little bit. I know going into it, he mentioned that he'd never really played 10 ball before, so I went out and talked with him a little bit. Those guys are friends. They're playing for the experience. They're playing for the. I mean, they are playing for money out there. I think they're playing for $50, but they. Tony, this is first. This is Tony's first official 10 ball match. So, I was talking with BJ. I asked him if he, mind if I went out and kind of talked to Tony a little bit. And so I went out there. We had a discussion about 10 ball. Talked to him about some things. So we'll see if he applies it. He looks a little more comfortable than what he was. So we'll see what he does here. So BJ just stepped outside for a second. And we're gonna get back to the action. But in the meantime, so we can talk about. We talk about Baxter's Locksmithing and Security Solutions, the one-stop security shop, 24-hour service for new and used safes. If you're talking about locksmithing and security, they do it all. Video surveillance, locks and padlocks, cutting keys, door openers, closers, safe combinations. You change them, get new ones, whatever the case is. They unlock cars, houses, anything security or locksmithing related. Guess what? They take care of it. And Caleb Baxter is a good. I didn't know Caleb too well, but he has been a big supporter of what we got going on G1 TV, and without him, this wouldn't be happening. So I do consider Caleb a friend after getting to know him. So give Caleb Baxter a call at 815-822-5653 for your locksmithing and security solutions. So Tony looks like he's ready to go. Let's see what he does here. Uh-oh. Snaps some English into the side pocket. We are just about 10 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. Races to 15 on Hill matchups normally takes anywhere between 5.5 to 5 hours and 45 minutes in a Hill thriller. Unless if Tony gets his rear in gear, we're looking about a 3.5 hour matchup. We're looking to be about 9:30 by the time this match is completed, I think. Wow, BJ fires at that ball. I don't think he meant to do that. Trying to get a little too close to his work. So he's kind of in a pickle now. There is a safety involved. He could try to move the 2 ball behind the purple 5 and the 10 and send the cue ball down table. But he calls the 8 ball and squirrels himself on the 2 in the process. So BJ looks like he's pulling out the jump stick, calling the 10 ball. Makes a good hit with the combination, but leaves the 2 ball out in the open. Tony didn't. I don't think he hit that one quite hard enough, and I think he looks a little snookered behind the 3 ball. Uh-oh. Tim, did you break a cue? What'd you do that for? Shouldn't have done that. Tony's looking to jump to make contact with the 3. He looks a little high. Yep. When you get too high, wow, he just makes everything. When you get too high, you got to be careful. If you're high up on the cue ball, that means that the cue ball is going to go high up in the air. So, with that being said, if he wanted to make contact with the 3 ball, looks like he needed to lower his cue stick just a little bit. He looked to be, I mean, if I had to put numbers on it, maybe at like a 75-degree angle with his cue stick. If he'd have lowered it down to a 55-degree, 45-degree angle, he might have had a much better chance of pocketing the 3 ball instead of hitting the 7 ball on the way through the 3. So BJ needs to stay on the bottom half of the 5 ball. I don't know if he got there or not. He looks pretty straight in. I say stay on the bottom half of the 5 ball, the purple 5 ball, so he could just slide across the table and shoot the 6 ball in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. But it looks like he's straight in, so he might have to play the pro shape and draw it backwards and shoot the 6 ball in the top right-hand portion of your screen. I can't tell if he's straight in or not, so he could roll forward and cut the 6 ball into the bottom right hand. He draws it, hits it poor, and scratches and gives Tony a chance to get on the board 8-3. So Tony again setting up initially the wrong angle to get to the 9. Oh, Tim, come on, bro. What are you doing? You got to stop that stuff, man. I would set the cue ball on the other side of the 6 and then come off the bottom rail. There, he's getting a little closer. I would still put it more to the right. He's looking at drawing the ball. I would use the rail and come forward. So would have gotten a little closer on the left-hand side than where he is now. But he's still fine. He just got to buckle down and make a couple balls. So let's see if he can get it done. Yep, pockets the 9. He's got the 10 in the bottom right-hand corner of your pocket. So let's see if he can settle in and pocket this ball in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen here. Rattles it. He shot it really hard. Tony, that's a ball that you kind of, I don't want to say slow roll it, but really let your stroke take it through. Shoot it nice and slow and fluid, and you would have been all right there, and BJ might have given it back to you. No, almost though. He almost did, so he goes up 9-2. Hey, for those of you who are watching right now, if you guys are interested in any sponsorship material, we're looking at creating a sponsorship wall with a camera that sits on it, and we would like your name on it if you're willing to donate a little bit to the cause. So here's how it's going to work. We would ask for a $100 bill, and we are selling 16 by 16 squares on this wall that a camera would be pointed to, and you would of course, have plenty of shout outs from myself and from Jay or anyone else who is currently in the booth. We'd ask $100 for that, and I'm just going to tell you what it's going to go towards. So, we are looking to try to bring a professional matchup to Jay's Garage, and that's what we're going to use this money for, to try to get some players here. So, what I would like to do, this is my end game, my end goal, raise $5,000. For those of you who don't pay attention, pool players do like to be paid for their times, especially the professional ones. And I would like to be able to offer two professional players anywhere in between $1,500 to $2,500 a piece. So my minimum end goal is $3,000, my maximum end goal is $5,000, to come and play an all weekend matchup for us right here on G1 TV. Right here inside of Jay's Garage. I'd like them to play kind of an all-around matchup. Maybe bet by the set. I'd like them to play either 3 sets, like a race to 30 or something like that, on a Friday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday night. Or I would like them to play one full set, but I'd like them to play a race to 100 in whatever game that they decide to play, and they would go to 35 on Friday night, and then they would go to 70 on Saturday night, and then we would finish the extravaganza on Sunday. So if you're interested in helping us get that together, I would thoroughly appreciate the help, because without you, we can't do too much. The people who support us, we try to support back, but we need help. We need sponsors to help make that happen. Tony almost makes a hell of a combination shot, but unfortunately leaves the same combination for BJ. So gotta watch out, BJ. That 5 ball's a stickler. Tony's still not sitting down. Talking to him outside, he said he's pretty nervous. He was really excited to do this because he has never had the opportunity to watch himself play pool. So he said he's going to go back and look at this and see what's going on and that kind of stuff, see if it can make him better. So that's kind of what G1 TV is all about. You know, we're about the 90%, not the 10% of professionals, but the 90% of the amateurs that kind of want to be treated like the pros. So it's kind of what it's about. So it's Tony's looking for a way to safely get to the 2 ball. And if the 7 wasn't there, I'd say that this is the safest way. But the 7 ball is there. So he can't come around a couple rails and get behind the 2 to shoot it in the side pocket. So if he does decide to do this and come through the rails, he might run into the 6 or might run in the gap between the 6 and the 8. He didn't hit it hard enough. He was trying to just get through the gap, I think, to shoot the 2-3 combination. Tim, you can't retire, man. You're too good a player. So we've just passed the 2-hour mark here on G1 TV. I believe we started at 6:06. So Tony's looking for a way out of what he put himself in. And all I can really tell him, you don't jump it, you kick at it, and you shoot it hard. Because if you shoot it too soft, you worry about giving ball in hand. I would spin around the 9 on the left-hand side, put left-hand English and then spin around the 9 and try to hit it, because you worry about going through there. Look out, not a double foul. Still just 1 ball in hand, though. BJ's hitting the action, trying to set up for the 5 ball. Good shot. Couple rail shape. It's another thing, too, that BJ's doing fairly well is he's allowing for the natural progression of the cue ball. He's not really drawing it a whole lot or anything like that. So see what he does here if he tries to go just past the 9 and come off the rail. See, he hits it really good. Really good. So this, just to stay away from the rails, you got to hit it pretty good to follow forward. I would just slow roll this ball and play it as is. So he comes all the way through, and this is what I worry about, getting close to the rail. If you just slow roll it, you've got plenty of room. And misses the 7 ball. And scratches. I'll just give it to Jay later. It's 2020. We don't use quarters for anything anymore. Dude, offer him. You got your own footrest on the chair. For real. It's underneath the chair. Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here. So Tony jacks up. That's a shot that I would have left myself a little length for and just stopped it. I would have shot it in the top right corner of the screen. So this shot, I would just follow with a little bit of high outside English. And Tony's definitely not playing his best today. It's not his best day, for sure. He plays better than what he's showing. So BJ's looking to go up 10-2. Just a stop shot. Don't need to draw it or anything. Yep, good shot. All right, and BJ hits double digits. Going up 10-2 against Tony. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Oh. What?
I'm going to welcome my boy Brian Moss to the commentary booth. He's, just so you guys know, so how that works, okay, you're going to have to lower them and put them around your neck. So we don't have the right prongs for the headset. So as you speak, it's going to come through the speakers. It's not going to come through the mic piece. So they should be able to hear you. You're just going to have to talk a little louder than you normally would. So
I don't want to be screaming.
no, that's about what you need to
That's
do.
good.
About right there. Yep. And they should be able to hear you okay. So his daughter just had her graduation party yesterday, and he mentioned to me that he wanted to come into the booth and do some commentary. So we're gonna put the mic on him and see what he's got.
And the nerves are kicking about as much as they were when I was playing now.
So here comes Tony, guys. Rack number 13, trailing BJ 10-2, and Tony's fighting with himself a little bit. He is trying to loosen up. He's trying to get some mojo flowing, and he's just having a overall hard time. And I'm still gonna accredit to the fact that this is his first official 10-ball match. He'd never played 10-ball before in his life until he started playing this matchup. So he decided to get in the box in a game that he's not familiar with. He wants to learn how to play. So one thing I will tell you that he's been doing really well all day today, he's been breaking really, really well. The sun's down. I know the demon's in the room, and he's just punching the demon in the face, and he keeps making a ball on a break. So, and he made the 10-ball on a break. So they're not counting the 10-ball, it appears. I've played both ways, where if the 10-ball goes in on a break, it's a win. But either or, doesn't matter. Whichever one they decide, just prolongs the set a little bit, gives them a little more playing time. Brian, you can probably take that and put it on behind the screen. Yep. That way it's not in your face. So Tony's looking to try and get shape on a 2. There's a couple different ways that you can go about it, but they're all kind of difficult. So he moved the 4 with his hand. So for that particular shot, if you look at the percentages, there's 2 holes that you can get into. The first one is naturally with a 3 and a 6. You can get into that gap to shoot the 2 in the corner. Or Tony could have drawn the ball back off the rail past the 4 ball to the bottom part of the rail to shoot the 2 in the pocket. So again, though, he's in a pickle. I think he might be able to cut the 2 all the way down the rail. I think he can see it enough. But when you do that, you've got to worry about where the cue ball's going. The cue ball could clip off the 5 and go up in the top left-hand corner of your screen if you're not careful. Oh, he drills it. That was a great shot. That was the first Tony Simpson-like shot I've seen since the match started. So maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see Tony a little bit here. So Brian, since you're in here too, you know, what I've had people do in the past, you're learning too. You see it in front of you. I ask questions. I'm right here. You know, there's people here that play well too. They may answer your questions too. So
that's one reason I'm sitting in the booth to listen to you talk too.
It's just an opportunity to communicate with other pool players, get their views on what they would do. So this is you know, what the program's about. So if you got questions, just throw them out there.
You work with me enough, you know I don't have a problem with answering questions.
Yeah, I know.
Asking questions.
So this is, I was talking to Tony earlier about percentages and things like that. So looks like he listened a little bit. He looked at the 5 and realized that the 5 was jammed up. So I told him outside, I was like, you know what BJ's doing to you, you need to kind of start doing back. What's up, Caleb? You know, if you go for that bank, for that, say, on that shot, you're not going to be able to shoot the 5 ball. So what you do is, you know, you force BJ to do it. And now BJ is just going to, roll up behind the 6 and the 9, send the cue ball to the end of the table, but that's okay. That's how 10 ball's played. It's much more safe than your typical 8 ball game, because you don't have more solids or more stripes, whichever one you are, to get out of, you know, to get out of a safe or get back in line or whatever the case is. So if he hits this really good, he's actually got a chance to get on the purple 5 ball. If he kicks to the top left rail and actually makes the 4, the cue ball is going to slide. Should slide. I shouldn't say it will, but it should slide between the 5 and the 8, and he would have a potential chance. But Tony's opting to kick it or to jump at the ball, which can work okay if he hits it flush. There's a potential safety there if he hits it really good. Look at this. Look at that. There it is. Yep. So he hit it pretty sporty. I don't necessarily know if he knew where the 4 was going, but if you hit it good, there's a chance that the cue ball does stay behind the 8. And I mean, the whole point of the safe, too, is really focused on the cue ball. You want to try to park it, you want to keep it down there, because if you look at the angles, you know the angles, the 4 ball's going to go away from the cue ball. So that's just an overall good shot. Good, well executed, I should say. Hey, Chris. Hey, AJ. So BJ's looking at a 1-rail kick right now, which is probably about the best chance at hitting the ball that he has. When I teach, I talk a lot about percentages. What's the best chance that you can get from point A to point B? Sometimes the best chance is only like a 0.8% chance, but it's the best one. You know, so he misses it, scratches, busts out the 5. Pretty much everything that bad could happen. BJ did it pretty well. But again, so this is what I was talking about with Tony earlier. He's got to do a lot of crap to get from the 4 to the 5. And if he's not comfortable playing 10 ball, this is where you play a safety. This is where you put the cue ball on the right side of the 4. You shoot the 4 into the rail, send it down behind the 8 and the 10. That way the 4 ball is by the 5 ball, and then you force BJ to kick at it. So, as you can see, Tony's not quite familiar with the safety portion of 10 ball, and he's leaving BJ hard, but he's also leaving BJ opportunities to really play safe on Tony. So if he just drags the cue ball, hits about third of the 4 ball, he's just going to drag the cue ball down the table and park the 4 ball behind the 6 and the 9. Man, he hit that really hard, though. He didn't have to hit it that hard. He wound up leaving BJ a shot at it. But again, if Tony doesn't like what's going on, he's going to have to play another safety. And this is the part about the 10-ball format that can take forever. When you're battling and jockeying for a position, it's not like 8-ball where you could potentially hit other balls or tie balls up or anything of that sort. So I have noticed Tony did take the advice to heart. He is thinking a little more before he pulls the trigger on the ball. So let's see what he decides to do here. Does he decide to go for the shot, or does he decide to play safe? He does go for the shot.
Going back to when he had ball in hand, could he have took the 4 ball into the side pocket and left the cue ball behind the 9 ball on that and played safe that way?
Are you saying to push it up in front of the side?
Well, either make it in the side or push it up there, but leave the cue ball behind the 9.
Well,
say if he would have made it to where
in 10 ball, if you call safe and you pocket a ball,
you still keep shooting.
No, the opponent has the opportunity to tell you to shoot it anyway.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying put the 4 down by the 5. That way, if BJ misses it, Tony can just go from the 4 to the 5. He doesn't have to work as much. In 8-ball, that's completely legal to call safe and pocket a ball, and BJ just shot a really good safety there too. He didn't have anywhere to go, so he buries him behind the 8-ball real tight. And in 10-ball, this is one of the most common safeties that you see, where you just roll up onto another ball and force the ball down table. That's a lot. I mean, the strong players, I bet if they can't get out, I bet I normally see that once a game. What BJJ just did. It's just a super easy safe where you don't have to move the cue ball a whole lot, and then most of the time you wind up burying your opponent pretty hard.
Okay.
So BJ's got Tony's got what I see, a 3-rail kick in the side pocket, and that's about it. So he'd have to shoot at the bottom left-hand rail, and then let the cue ball travel to the corner and hit the left rail first, and then the top left rail, and then that's going to send the cue ball over towards the 5 ball, and he hopes that he can hit it. So it looks like he does have enough to maybe hit a 2-railer. He's staring at the 2-railer, but that takes a lot of spin. He's got to put a lot of right-hand spin on it so it comes off of the rails all right. And I hope he called the 5 in the side just in case. See how long that went? So you got to really jack up into the ball and put a whole bunch of right-hand English on it. Just so when it hits the rail, it hits the left rail, it snaps really high up into the top rail. And it'll come back towards the side pocket. So BJ's looking at a 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 out. So I would slightly roll the cue ball just a little bit past the 6 so you can stun back out for the 8. And then, like here, he's on the wrong side of the 6. So now he has to make something happen kind of goofy. Might have to try to jam it off of the rail. Hit it a little stiff. Jam it off the rail. Yep, as I say, you got to worry about missing the shot. You got to worry about scratching. If you accidentally draw it. I think that shot is a little un-BJ-like because BJ has been letting the ball move very fluidly forward. So I think that might have been a brain fart on BJ's part. But he's given Tony an out here, and I think it's an out that Tony doesn't quite see. The way that I'm going to tell you is going to be a little easier than the way he's probably going to shoot it. He's probably going to jack up and try to bring the cue ball backwards. But the right shot is to just keep center and send the cue ball on the left side of the 8. So you can either shoot it in the top side pocket or the top right bottom pocket. Oh, he hit it really good. Good shot. All right, so he is on the left side. Looking at the 8 ball in the top right-hand portion of your screen. One of the hardest things, I think, for a player to start to understand is that object balls, most of the time, have more than one pocket. The 8 ball is close to the corner pocket, bottom left corner pocket, so most people will try to shoot it there. They don't register that the 8 ball sees other pockets because it's so close to one. So I'm not quite sure why he shot it in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. That's a shot that I believe should have been shot up in the top right portion of your screen. But he might have saw something that we didn't. Maybe there was an off weirdo angle, something like that. BJ's got a tough shot. He calls the bank. Double kisses it. So a safety that was there. Low left-hand English dragging the cue ball behind the 9. So the cue ball would have went off the right end rail and then settled in behind the 9, and the object ball would have then come 2 rails through the right-hand rail to the bottom right-hand rail, and then it would have went down table, kind of where it is now, and Tony would have had to kick at it that way. Yeah. Tony's struggling. So a big thing I'm going to tell these guys too when they're playing, and it's the common question that I have, and you know what? Maybe I've got a player that's learning in here. Maybe I can actually get an answer because every time I ask it, nobody answers it. Why is it that when we have a hard shot, and I include myself in this equation, we tend to shoot the hard shots quicker than the easier ones?
I don't know. I'm inconsistent. I shoot all my shots quick, and then I slow down, and I go quick again. I watched my matchup that I had in here, and listened to you commentate it, and everything you were saying was right there in front of my face. So I can't answer that truthfully, but
Damn it!
I go fast, I go slow, I
It's
go fast.
still a mystery.
I'm trying to.
I'm just gonna have to call Van Boning or something and ask him.
I mean, I gave you an honest answer of what I do. So, I mean, that's why I hang around all of you guys so I can learn and get better. And
Oh, so it's not that we're your friends. You're just trying to get ahead in pool, huh?
why not? You know,
Why
you,
not?
You
He
gotta
said-
benefit yourself, right?
That's right. Hey,
No, you
that's
got- you
that's a
guys-
good
you-
answer, G1 style. I like that.
But no,
That's a
you
good
guys
answer.
are my friends. Been my friends for a long time, but
To get the harder shots out faster.
yeah.
To get the harder shots done faster.
To get the harder shots done faster, my friend Josh says. That's what he thinks. Well, you want to know what I think?
Get them out of the way.
You suck. That's what I think.
Thanks, sir. Thank
That's
you.
what I think.
Hey, but I am 2-1 on the string, though.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about my record.
I mean, you should have been 3-0, Josh. I mean,
Well,
honestly,
we're not going to be bringing that up. Let's not bring that up
I like to bring that up.
on the string.
Oh, you talking about that ass kicking you got 20-2?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
we're
talking about? That one?
And the one game you gave him. I mean,
Yep, you're right. I hit the 8 in early.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that on the string. Thank you.
So they're jockeying for position on the 8 ball. Neither of them can settle in, so this would be a shot for Tony that I'd actually fire if I was Tony. It's a pretty straight cross-side bank. Looks like you can hit that pretty good and make it, so I would definitely call that one. The percentages of playing safe for me with 3 balls left on the table, not high. Percentage that I'm comfortable to slam that ball 3,000 miles an hour cross side, 100%. And I might miss it. I guarantee it's going 3,000 miles an hour, without a doubt. But bam, that's all you'd hear. Thanks everybody for sticking with us tonight. Our Monday, this is called our local lineup match. Local lineups pretty well go about anywhere be within a 40-mile radius of Pontiac or so. I consider that about an hour away. I would consider local, something to where they could come here, play a match, and then get home at a reasonable time most of the time. I feel for some players. We had one gentleman come from Decatur on a Wednesday night. That was a long drive home, I'm sure. That's an hour and 50 minutes just to get to the outskirts of Decatur, and then let alone if he lives in Decatur. Got to go through all the roads and everything like that. So Tony's really struggling with himself, trying to find a stroke here. So he plays. Tries to play safe.
does Tony have a lot of experience of gambling and on stream tables and stuff?
First 10-ball match ever. Only has really played 8-ball. Truthfully, I've never really known Tony to be a gambler. But I've only known Tony, mind you, for about a year and a half-ish. I don't know. I've never really gotten with him and hit some balls or anything like that. So I don't know how Tony is really. This is his first time on a stream table. I will say that. So.
I know the nerves of that.
Yep,
for
you
being your
know
first.
how that is. Yep,
It plays with you.
it does.
It does.
You're right.
You try blocking it out, but it still plays with you.
Yep. I was talking with him outside, and he said that he's like, man, I just can't get it out of my head that people are watching me. And I go, you just gotta block that stuff out. Really, what I should have told him was, you shoot in a pool league. Don't you realize there's probably more people in that bar watching you play than there is on a table or on a camera? Because he's in Streeter. There's a lot of people often in those bars in Streeter, especially during league night.
Right.
I walk in there in a league night. It's almost impossible to walk into La Villa without bumping into somebody. It's busy in there. So, but I think it's a difference of having people there and kind of thinking to yourself, holy crap, I'm on TV.
Right.
Like, that's That is a mind screw in itself. You're right. But what I told him was you can't let it affect your work.
Right.
That's just what it is. You're here. You are here to have fun. But if you're going to put up money, you're here to do a job.
Right.
You're here to play your best, despite the distractions. You got to try to block it out. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast when you get on there
Yeah.
for the first time playing for money,
You
playing
know,
on a stream.
It used to. I remember the first time I was on stream. It only bugged me for about the first 2 minutes, and honestly, it was because I forgot. I started playing this really good player, and I was like, "Crap, I can't freaking afford to be thinking about anything but this guy, because this guy's stupid good." But there was always for me like a sense of my parents got to watch me, and for those of you who know me really well, I get along with my family very well. But at the end of the day, I think it was a comfort knowing that my mom and dad could turn on the internet if I texted them and say, hey, just so you guys know, if you want to watch me, here I am. And a big thing for me, my mom and dad in the beginning hated me playing pool. Absolutely hated it. I was raised Catholic. Here I am, 16 years old, trying to sneak into bars, not to drink, just to play pool. That's all I wanted to do was play pool. And my mom kind of caught on. She's like, you need to stop this. So, of course, I didn't, because I was 16. If she would have told me not to jump off a bridge, I might have done it just to do it, you know? So I kept doing it, and what really changed for me is when they made that decision to come watch me play out in Vegas. 2012, we went out to Vegas for the first time, and my mom had never been to Vegas. My dad hates planes, but my dad sucked it up because my mom wanted to go, and they made a trip out of going to Vegas, you know, just because I was in nationals, you know, and they, well, if you're going to go, we're going to go watch our kid play. Now it's probably the time to do it. He's at the #1 pool tournament in the United States right now, so that was the ACS Nationals in 2012. But when they were there watching me, never became never once crossed my mind, a camera never once crossed my mind again, because if I could play good in front of my mom and dad, I'd play good in front of anybody.
Right.
Didn't matter. Because those two in the beginning hated it. And here I am now. I told them I was going to do something. I told them I was going to take it serious and I was going to get good at it. I proved it to them. If they come all the way out to Vegas and watch me, that means I win. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
I won.
Yeah, my parents watched my whole match playing in here, and after it was over the next day, I caught a lot of grief over it from them. What were you doing? What? You can play better than that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, nerves got me, you know.
Yep.
No excuses for anything. All I got is nerves, you know. And I stepped out into a different realm that I'd never done before, and I'll do it again.
It's a nerve-wracking thing being in the spotlight. And that's what something like this does. I mean, when Doug and I played Josh and Donnie, at one point in time, I think Josh looked at his phone and there was like 180, wasn't it like 180 viewers or something like that?
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Yeah, so I mean, when you think about that, that's 180 viewers. That means there's 180 phones. Who's to know who's on the other side of the phone?
Right.
Who's to know who blew it up on their TV and 6 people's in there? So there might have been 180 phones, but there could have been 600 people,
Right.
you know, watching what's going on. So just can't let it get to you. At the end of the day, I always tell myself, one of two things going to happen. I'm going to win or I'm going to lose.
Yep.
That's just what it is. One of two
There's
things.
got to be a winner and there's got to be
Yep.
a loser.
And then when you do that, that gives you an opportunity to control your surroundings. If you tell yourself you're only going to win or you're only going to lose, that's rough. But if you try to control the scenario and saying, I'm going to do one of two things, I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose, regardless, I'm going to play my best, you control the surroundings, you control the camera, you control a commentary booth, because all you're doing is focused on your absolute best all the time. And I remember 2014, there was a 3-man tournament. I went with John Allen and Dave Good over to Indiana, and we played in a 3-man tournament, and got to meet some good people that weekend. But TV Mike was streaming the matchup, and I knew I was on the stream table, but it didn't bug me as much. But what I didn't know is a pool player that I respect a lot, and probably have at least heard of his name, Sam Ball. He's an ACS referee. He was walking around, and he decided to sit in and commentate the match with Mike. If I would have seen that while I was playing the matchup, would have been a different story. I probably wouldn't have performed as well, because I respect the holy hell out of Sam's game.
Right.
He's such a good player. So, good news for me is I didn't happen to see, for some odd reason, I didn't happen to look up and see this guy in a ref shirt sitting with headphones over his head. But luckily I didn't. I played my ass off. We had to come back through the losers bracket, and we double dipped the team, and we won. That was dope. But I went back and I listened to it, and Sam was nothing but respectful. You know, he talked about, he's like, man, I really respect Eric's game, you know, and he just really went on to compliment me, and I messaged Sam on Facebook when I saw that, and I told him thank you, you know, because I didn't know that respect was mutual. We rarely talked. But now we talk almost every chance we get, and it was because of that moment that I made a good friend out of that. So commentary can do you some good things too. Just don't look.
Just don't look.
Because you never know. My dad was on commentary. Oh my God. Oh my! I could see him sitting here next to you and be like, Eric told me he was good at this game.
I can see that. I mean, that's what dads do. You know, my dad would do the same thing.
Yep.
So
BJ didn't quite learn as valuable of a lesson here that he could. I'm sorry, Tony didn't. BJ slops in a ball. So Tony has the option to give it back to him or make him shoot it. And Tony gives the option, okay, go ahead and shoot it. So what he allowed BJ to do was attempt to play a stupid good safe on him. So what he did was he shoots the 5 ball off the rail and tries to put it behind the 6 over here. What he should have done is completely flip-flop it. He should have sent the 5 ball out here and tried to put the cue ball behind the 6, because the cue ball was easier to control. With the 5 ball, you had to put spin on it. With the cue ball, you were already down that far. What up, Tree? You were already down that far, and then he was able to put him down there good, and he was able to hook him there. And now BJ has to pay for it because Tony just made a good combo and is trying to work on a potential run out. The shape on the 8 ball, super important here. He's not going to like it. Now what he has to do, if he wants to safely get shape, it's a hard shot. He has to jack up a little bit because he's close to the rail. He's got to put low left-hand English on the 8 ball. Pocket the 8 ball in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And the low inside English, low left-hand English will snap off the bottom rail to the side rail to the top rail, and then back all the way out for the 9 in the side pocket. So then that's actually what he tried to do. So he slops in the 10, so the 10 ball is going to spot. And BJ has the option to make him shoot it, but I'm sure BJ will shoot this shot. And he's explaining that to Tony as well. Again, I do have to tell everybody that this is Tony's first official 10-ball matchup. He's never played 10-ball before in his life. But he said he wanted to learn a little bit. BJ looks like he's going to super suck it. Yep, look out, side pocket. Don't get hooked on the point. There's only 12 viewers here, so being professional, I had to learn how to say point, and I couldn't say tit anymore. It's the hardest thing in the world not to say tit. My God.
The air conditioner on out there kind of stuck it out a little
Yeah.
farther.
Yeah.
Help that cue ball
Thinking
stay
to
on the-
myself, if my mom ever watches this, she hears me say, "Oh, and the ball bounced right off the tit," she'd kill me. She'd text me, "Why are you talking vulgar on a stream?" Oh,
But you
BJ.
got every guy in America agreeing with you.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. So BJ's gonna watch this back. I gotta make sure he hears me say this. Nice shot, BJ. Hey, listen to Josh. He's got some advice for you. Josh, tell him what would have happened there.
If there was a pocket there, he would have made it.
Yep, that's genuine advice from Josh. If there was a pocket there, he'd have made it. That's one of his one-liners and goes-tos every time he misses the ball. So.
I've watched a lot of these
Uh-oh.
matches on the YouTube at home on the big TV, and I've heard that comment a lot. If there was a pocket there, you would have made it.
Yeah.
I think that's a G1 TV.
It is. It's like a G1 TV one-liner kind of thing.
If that pocket was wider, he would have made that.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
You need to put a copyright on it. That way nobody can steal that. phrase
BJ's
from
wife just messaged me and said, "You can say titty." Well, I guess BJ missed the titties there and hit it right in the hole. So goes up 11-3 after missing a straight and 10 ball. Tony gives him the opportunity to redeem himself.
If you think about it, pool is a very perverted sport.
It truly is.
I mean,
yes.
you got sticks, balls,
Yep.
pits, holes.
Yep. Racks.
Yep. It's
Racks, yep.
It's pretty perverted. if
It
you
really
think about
is. Yep. You're right. Won't argue there.
But most of the people that play the game are perverted also.
You're also correct. You're also correct. This might be Tony's first dealing with a magic rack too. Tuh. I see how rude you are. You didn't even offer him your chair. So Tony's getting ready to break rack number 15. Unfortunately, trailing BJ by a score of 11-3. What did he say out there? I missed it.
Hell no, I ain't getting up off this goddamn chair. I ain't getting up off this chair.
Yeah, that's pretty comfy, ain't it?
Yep.
Tony's been making balls on the break. I'm not sure if he's dry broke yet today. So this is a kind of a difficult shot, but it's definitely a shot that could get him on the 3. He needs to put inside English on this ball, so that would be left-hand English to hit about the middle diamond on the right-hand rail, and that's going to squeeze him in between the 3 and the 9 ball. But he's really got to hit it with a bunch of inside, or it's not going to go there, and he has a chance of scratching. He's going to shoot it too fast, and I couldn't say it beforehand. But, yeah, you got to put a lot of left-hand English on that. And you have to shoot it a little softer as well, too, so the English takes off the rail. Is that your fireball out there?
Yeah, that's all right. We'll talk money after he's done making.
So BJ has to work on getting from the 3 to the 4. And I think the good spot for him to do it is a little more over. But he's right. It's in between the 9 and the 6. So I still would put it a little more closer to the 6, just so I can put that little extra bit of right-hand spin on it. I think it's called a helper. It's called a helper shot, and the right-hand English is helper English. So he's going to try to come through the rails and get on the bottom part of the 7, and he didn't hit it hard enough, so he's going to be stuck behind the 7. So you're probably going to see him pull out his jumper here. It's a fairly straight-in jump shot. Looks like he's going to go for the kick. He misses it. Awards ball in hand to Tony. All right, sorry about that. So,
Just let me know whenever you.
yeah, I will. I'm going to message him now.
All right.
It's 17th?
Yeah.
So Tony's struggling to get a hit on the 5 ball. I would call the 5 on the side just in case. Oh, he banks a phenomenal shot.
That was a good shot.
It's a really good bank shot. Uh-oh. And misses the 6 ball. No bueno there. So BJ's got a kick at the 6. It's a tough kick shot because he needs to get shape on the 7. If I were BJ, I'd take a little more time on his kick shots. He's very general in his lineup. Like that shot there, it was almost kind of I don't want to call it equilateral, but it's one of those shots where you run into the mirror image method where like the cue ball is almost in the exact same spot as the 6 ball was on opposite sides of the table. So you should be able to kind of walk to the middle of the table and you should be able to kind of find that happy medium there to where you can hit it pretty good. And I think BJ's kicked about 4 or 5 times from what I've really paid attention to where I really think he's fully capable of not just hitting it but making it, and he just hasn't really looked at it all the way through. So I hope in the last couple games coming up that he starts to do that so we can see some good kicking stuff from
On that ball and hand shot there, would Tony have been better off giving himself a little angle?
Absolutely. You're right. Yep. Absolutely. He was trying to draw it straight back and get straight in on the rail. If you even move it just to the left just a little bit, um, he would have been able to draw it off the rail and come back away from the rail, which would have made a shot on the 7 a lot easier. Well, thank you, Tim. That's a wonderful compliment. I appreciate it. You just made my day better. I'll just say that. I was having a rough day before I got in here, having to deal with some BS, and hearing that, every once in a while, it's nice to hear something good out of people. So I appreciate it, and I'm really glad that you can learn something from it. I mean, I've been around the different states of the Midwest. I've seen a lot of good players. I've got to watch a lot of good players and how they do this stuff. It's I'm willing to teach it to people. Just I tell people all the time, and they forget. BJ hit that awfully soft. They forget how much you can learn from watching and listening. One of my pet peeves when I was coming up, like, don't be afraid to ask questions. So I thought that was the 8 ball. I thought we were playing 9 ball there for a second. That's the 10 ball. I forgot. So if you guys can tell at the screen when you look at that 10 ball sometimes, if it's facing the camera just right, you got no idea what color it is unless you look really, really close. Like, I can see just a little bit of the blue stripe now that I stare at it.
That blue mixes in with that felt.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But, so BJ goes up 12-3. And they're going to take a short break. But yeah, Tim, for real, I'm really glad that you can get something out of it. And hopefully, the people who watch it, they get something out of it too. If I get one player to go to the pool table and practice one thing that I said, just do it once, and they learn something from it, then I've done the deed for the day. That's just how it works. So, with that being said, I'm going to pop open our feature matches coming up on G1 TV, and I'm going to take a quick break, so I'll let you guys look at those flyers. That's what we got coming up over the next couple Saturdays, so stay tuned with us. We'll be back in probably about 5 minutes, so stick with us, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. So let's pop back to the main camera here to catch the action as BJ's getting ready to break rack number 16, leading Tony Simpson 12-3. Pockets a ball on a break, and has a fair shot on the one. A slow roller to the one should get him some decent angle to go about the two. So you have to be careful. You can't get straight in on the two because I don't think the three goes by the seven. So you got to walk around here. You just can't really set up anything and expect everything. So like BJ hasn't even looked to see if the three ball goes yet. So I think he's looking at it. No, he's looking just to commit to the one. So he hasn't quite paid attention to the three yet. Now he's starting to, I think, look at the three a little. Still looking at the one, but I don't think the three goes by the seven. So he has to leave himself angle to come back to the middle of the table to shoot the three past the four, which creates an issue if he gets on the high part of the three because the four ball is behind the three. So he's got work to do. This shot here, since he's left himself on the rail, I think I'd try to shoot with a little bit of high right. And I'd actually try to bump into the four at this point. Because where he's at, it's going to be difficult. It's not impossible, but it's going to be difficult to get a decent shot on the three. So I just try to bump into the four and leave the cue ball there to shoot the three ball in the top right-hand portion of their screen. So, yep, he makes a beautiful shot. But again, this is what I was talking about. Since the four ball's behind the three, it's that much more difficult to get shape on the four. So by running into the four ball with the right-hand spin, you try to save yourself from having to get super difficult shape on the four ball itself. So BJ's really looking at it. Offensively, you could set up for a bank shot cross corner. To the top left portion of your screen. But safety-wise, it's a lot harder because all the balls are laid out. It really depends on where BJ puts the cue ball. Shoots it strong, but it still comes up in a bad way. So, bank the four in the top right. Offensively, if you miss it, it rattles, and you can try to play a two-way shot. If you bank it in the side, you're committing to making the ball because there's not really anything to hide behind with the cue ball traveling the rails like it is. So he's definitely committing to making it and trying to get shape on the five, which I would hit it soft enough to where I could shoot it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. He hits it hard enough, makes the bank super well to get straight in on the five in the top side pocket, which is awesome.
Very nice shot.
It's a good shot. Good cue ball control. But the question that I really want answered, just for him in his own mind, did you know where the cue ball was going? Like, I don't want to talk about a general area. I know BJ's level enough to know that he knows the general area, but did he know that he was going to leave this type of angle with the speed that he hit it, with the spin that he hit it? What was the spot that he wanted to? And then he has to ask himself, did I get there, and be honest with himself. That's how you make yourself better. That's analyzing your own pool game, being honest with yourself, saying, you know what, I just fired at that, and I knew there was this super big area that I could get into to where I could make it, and that's just what it was. Or was it, you know what, I wanted to be right there, and that's where I got. And that just means that you're showing improvement. And for me, I ask myself all the time, I find my area, and for players who play with me a lot, they might see me roll my eyes a lot because I wanted to get right here, and I'm 6 inches to the left. Or I'm not 6 inches, 6 centimeters to the left or something. And I'm like, I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be here. I'm my biggest critique to my pool game. So you got to be a huge critic to your pool game. Rattles it. Oh, there it goes. It goes in there. It goes in there. You can see Tony in the top left-hand portion. I wish I figured out instant replay, because just for him to get a laugh when he rewatches this, I'd have zoomed in on that. Just him. Oh, that would have been funny.
Jumped up out of the
Yeah, that
pocket
would
and
have been
pulled
funny.
it in. So I got a question for you though. How'd
What's
you
up?
get Josh to stay so quiet? I've never heard him so quiet in all the years I've known him. What's the trick?
You know, if I told everybody the trick, I don't think he'd do it anymore. So I'm just going to keep that between G1 and Homer's crew over here and see what happens. Sometimes when you figure something out, you just don't want to give away your secrets.
Right.
In my next book,
Your next book? All right.
How Did I Keep Homer Quiet? I'll have a whole 10-page chapter on it.
That's just a short version.
It all started back when we first met back 15 years ago. BJ has a nice draw stroke there to hopefully give himself good position. This is where G1's rule number 1 come into it. Brian, what's G1 rule number 1?
Make the ball.
Make the ball. Yep. Make the ball.
Hi, Debbie.
Make the ball. You're not worried about scratching or anything like that. Just a smooth stroke. You don't have to hit it very hard. And you just put it in the hole. That's just all it is. He shot it really hard, and he scratches on it. BJ. So he gives Tony a chance. Yep, he gives Tony a chance with ball in hand on the 10 ball to put it into the pocket. Tony, if you got ball in hand, why you stretching, brother? Just a thought, just saying. Not trying to come off rude, but you gotta, like, those are the things you gotta think about. Bring it, instead of having to stretch on one foot, bring it a foot. Bring it a foot. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm not paying attention. I'm talking.
That's what you got me in here for.
That's right. Yep. Nice and quiet because he's paying attention.
I mean, his scoring hasn't changed much since last night when we were sitting there watching it on the
No,
TV.
it didn't.
Oh, now he's up 44.
So where I was going with that is if you just bring that a foot closer to you, you can still stretch on the table and still be pretty close, but you got both feet on the floor. When you start to lift that one foot out, your stroke starts to get confined, and then you would have been really upset if you'd have gone to shoot that and you'd have miscued because the cue stick come up just over the top part of the cue. So bring it a foot back so you can actually just shoot it, not have to worry about confinement of your stroke or anything of that sort. So, but a win's a win. Who cares?
I think in some cases like that, like players like myself and stuff, we get ball in hand on that 8 ball. We want to put it as close to that 8 ball as we can because I think the closer that is, the better we got of not,
you're right.
not scratching or falling.
I mean, I leave, if it's a regular shot where I just have ball in hand on the 8, I bet I leave 3 foot of distance, I bet. Just about that far. Just to where I know I'm not going to double hit anything. I know I can stop the cue ball or even let it run. I might give myself a little angle and just put high on it. Just because then you start thinking about a stop shot, and then you're thinking about a stop shot too much, and then you rattle the ball because you don't want the cue ball to move.
Yeah, I think if I put it back too far, I then fire it too hard. You know. So I think, okay, if I can get up here closer, I don't have to hit it as hard.
Sure.
It's a mind game.
Yeah.
That I'll eventually figure out somehow.
Well, it's just practice. You just got to play. You put cars in your garage?
Yep.
See, I walked into your garage and I just said, screw that pool table.
It's too cold in there in the wintertime.
Oh. Well, is your garage not insulated? Because it looked like it was.
There's a little bit, but not a lot.
Now, is it in the walls? It's just not up top? Because I noticed up top
I don't think it's in the walls or there's
oh,
not much
so
on the wall.
it's just the particle board that's just. I got you.
That and the floor's not the great. I mean, we get some seepage in there and stuff, you know.
Oh, from rain.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I had a cheap table, I might park my car outside. Either that or put the wife's car outside and put mine in the garage on the other side.
You remember what I was in here talking about the other night, don't you? Is that what you're laughing at? Yeah. We'll have to talk about that later. I had a big old conversation in here with somebody the other night about something both of us just saw. So, yeah. So, BJ is looking to steal that game back. Oh, I guess it's not that bad. I guess it just saw it and not that bad. BJ's looking to try to get that game back. He was looking to go 13-3, but now he's stuck at 12-4. So he's going to have to try and get that game back. Rattles the 3. He's looking at trying to end the set early here. He's at rack number 17. So there's 4 racks left in the set, so he has to win 3 of the next 4 racks to go home early. So we just passed about the 3-hour time here on this beautiful Monday night. Estimated time of finish was between 9:30 and 10, unless Tony gets in stroke, and then we're looking at, we're looking at potentially a lot longer than that. So races to 15 are no joke. A lot of endurance.
I've noticed too, Tony, when he follows through, he brings his stick up.
He does.
Keep it down.
Yep, he does. You can nitpick and things like that, but just truth be told, I don't know Tony well enough to say those things. So I know we're live, so he's gonna hear this eventually. If Tony, you got any questions about your mechanics or things like that, I am super cheap when it comes to lessons, bro. You're not gonna find people that offer the lessons that I do for the price that you'll pay. So it's could fix your mechanics, make you overall a better player. So mechanics go into a lot of pocketing balls and getting shape and things like that, and execution and all that. But not gonna get nitpicky on camera. I'll let somebody come up personally and ask about that kind of stuff. Go from there. Try to keep that respect level high.
I was talking to him during the break out there, and we were both talking about, first time being on a stream, because I related to it, and we were talking about how we have no consistency when we were doing it fast, slow.
Yep. So Tony's looking at the 7, trying to get shape on the 8. Tony needs to relax. He needs to go up on the cue ball. This is a high English shot to the rail and back, and he is coming into the ball. Yep, he's going to go behind the 9. Got to be really careful. Just gotta think. I was talking with Tony a little bit on the outside during one of the breaks, and we were talking about percentages a little bit. What's the percentage that this is going to happen? And there is a percentage that you have to remember after you shoot the shot, and that's where the cue ball is going to go. You can't always just think about G1 rule 1. I mean, G1 rule number 1 is make the ball. But there is a process after you pocket the ball that you have to worry about 99% of the time. And I say 99% of the time because sometimes you do just need to make the ball. You know, you think to yourself, you're getting down in a tournament, you're in the championships, and you've got the 8-9 left, and you have to think to yourself, okay, if I just make the 8, I'm gonna get shape on the 9. So now it just all comes to knowing that you're gonna get shape on that ball. So now you just got to focus hardcore on just making the shot, taking all the pressure off the leave, because you know you can make the 9 ball from anywhere on the table. Sometimes you got to get shape on the 9, but a lot of those times we put ourselves into a situation where once we get to the 8, the shape on the 9 is pretty well straightforward a lot of times, unless if the 8's on one side of the table and the 9's all the way on the other. Tony just misses that cut shot. But ultimately, if you really just focus on the ball, there's a lot of good things that can happen, and you stay at the table a lot longer than missing the shot altogether and then having your opponent beat you. So BJ is going to go for the bank on this, and I don't like that. If he doesn't hit this very well, he's scratching up in the top left. Oops. Scratches in the top left. Although he's done his job, he's made the 9 ball difficult to get to. So good for Tony. Tony's trying to set up his shots. This would be a shot where I would shoot the 7 into the top right instead of the top into the bottom right, because I want to move forward to try to get underneath the 10 ball. Now with him on the rail, and I think he's straight in too. In my opinion, he's got to go the harder route. He's got to send the cue ball all the way forward past the 10. Where if he'd have shot the 7 in the top right and the 8 ball in the bottom side, he wouldn't have had to worry about it. So now he's looking to see if he can hit it or not. He did not roll as far as he wanted to. So let's see if he can get it. Just a slow roller to put the 10 ball in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. No reason to do anything crazy with it. Just slow roll it by. Yeah, he couldn't see it. He looks like he's fighting away the garage flies. Only problem about a garage.
There's flies.
There's flies in the garage. It's just what it is. BJ shoot. Oh, he's gonna scratch. Yep. Oh,
Flies want their
BJ.
moment on G1 TV too, though.
Yep. Who wouldn't? So BJ scratches either the ball before the 10 ball or the 10 ball again and gives Tony another chance to go up another game. So Tony's looking for a way to... Yeah, this is what you were talking about. And I actually think this is easier to miss.
Yes.
Because you poke it, and then all of a sudden it rattles on you. But he didn't poke it, and it didn't rattle, so if BJ wants to go home early, he better step it up a notch, or we're going to go to another set of 5. He's got to win the next 3 games. All right, you play it now. Uh-oh. I think the demon showed its face. Looks like a dry break to me. love those G1 brakes. They're so amazing.
I think they suck personally, but that's just me.
What are you talking about? I got the best dry brake this side of 80.
Well,
I might not make a ball, but damn it, I look good.
I know, but I like it when I make a ball and they brake better than dry braking.
I almost want to bet people, like, hey, $5 says I dry brake. And then they'd be like, well, you're just going to soft brake. I'm like, no, because then a corner ball will wind up going in and I'll pay you $5. I'll blast in this rack. $5 says I dry brake. I'd make more money than I lose.
Possibly. But be your luck, it'd end up switching and you make.
Oh man, yeah, I'd lose 100. I'd lose 100.
Yep.
Well,
The demon would not show up.
So Tony is thinking a little more defense in the later stages of this matchup than what he was in the beginning, which is good. But he's not thinking what's called a progressive safety. It's a shot that's going to allow you to get ball in hand. Like BJ just shot a shot. I think he left him the window, but that was a much better shot, a progressive shot to get somewhere that he wanted. To get that ball in hand. What's up?
You can't call safe and make the low ball, right?
Correct.
That
It acts as that push rule that we talked about.
yeah, you can't make safe and call safe and make the low ball. Okay.
They had a question about pocketing a ball and calling safe in 10 ball, and it is, well, I shouldn't say it's forbidden, but if you do it, you're probably not going to like the outcome. You're going to wind up shooting the safe that you just played, so probably not a smart idea, but I guess you could do it. Whatever. Ooh, die ball. Ah. Good idea. So Tony is starting to poke the ball around, which is good. He just has to think of that progression. Send in the cue ball somewhere. Don't just think of leaving BJ a bad shot. Think of leaving BJ no shot. Like, this is going to come. Yeah, that's tough. Oh, make a ball. Oh! He almost got to give it back to him. Almost. So Tony's going to pull out the jumper. Let's see if Tony can shoot a nice shot here. He needs to be up a little higher, I think. Not much. He's at a 45 right now. I would say at about a 50 to a 55 degree. There he go. Almost. I think a little more. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, he hit it. Oh, got it over, but he missed the ball. So, ball in hand goes to BJ. So there is an out here, but it's super hard to get to. If he can get to the left side of the 2, he can shoot the 2 into the 9, and that would open up the entire rack. Oh no. Oh no. He slides the cue ball behind the 5 ball. The purple 5. I'm going to get to a regular set of balls when all these tournaments start up again, and I'm not going to know what colors they are. because I'm used to shooting with these blacks. So tries to go for the 2-rail hit and fouls. So this is even better now that, well, I guess I shouldn't say that because somewhere along the way the 7 ball has blocked the 3. So this has become a very tough rack to get out of without playing defense. And Tony really needs to think of a way to try to get to the 3 ball, because if he makes the 2-9 combination, he's going to not be able to get to the 3 ball from the 2. So he has called the 9 ball. So you got to pay attention to the middle ball in combination. So the 2 ball is going to squirt out towards the middle of the table. So he's got to pray that the cue ball goes on the right side of the 2 ball to give himself an easier chance of getting down to the 3. So it's going to move. Right now the 2 ball looks like it's going to move towards the top right-hand portion of your screen. So you just got to really pay attention as to where all these balls are going. He's changed his cue ball lineup now, which is going to change where the 2 goes. But he hit it so hard. You see, look where it goes. Yeah. Now he's left himself a bank on the 2. Got to control the middle ball with your bank shots. And it's one of the hardest things to remember, too. There's so much in a combo shot that you have to pay attention to. So this would be a safety for me. Again, Tony just parking the cue ball on the 2. So he is thinking defense, but BJ has a much more sophisticated mind when it comes to the defensive shot. And every time that Tony does this, BJ's going to make him pay. And that's just, unfortunately, just how it goes. BJ's looking to hide Tony from the 2 ball, and Tony's just looking to leave BJ as difficult as possible. He's not quite looking to hide him from everything. So Tony's going to his jump cue again. So be careful here. You hit this bad, the cue ball goes off the table. Back off, I'll take you on. This song is so old. Trapped by Headstrong's playing, or Headstrong by Trapped is playing right now, and I think it came out when I was in the 6th grade, maybe. So.
We don't want to talk about what I was in when you were in 6th grade.
Yeah, well over. I guess not well over, but about 20 years ago. That's 20 years ago. I was 11.
We don't want to talk about how old I was when I was 20 years ago.
How old were you, Brian?
21.
21, huh? So BJ tries to draw back, winds himself hooking on a 3 ball. Getting ball in hand, you just gotta be able to try to create better percentages. So like for Tony here, Tony's just gonna probably push the cue ball up on the 3. I would cut the 3 ball and send the cue ball 2 rails behind the 8. Or the 10 ball. I think it's a 10 ball. So it's just there's the difference in leaving a difficult shot versus leaving a kick shot, I should say. Forcing him to kick at it. So Tony's going for the bank. I really hope I really wish he would see this safety, because it's not that hard of a safety to play. Because the 7 ball's there to help. All you're doing is just burying the 3 ball behind the 7. And then the pros, instead of stopping behind the 10, they would have gone all the way and parked it between the 8 and the 5.
Right.
So this is another safety too. This is a shot that would bring you into the 7, send the cue ball around a couple rails, but BJ might be able to make it. I can't tell. Yeah, BJ makes it. So now the question is, I can see the 5 does go on the side pretty easy. What you got?
Lifesavers.
Ah.
I got lifesavers and gummy or Jolly Ranchers.
Ooh, you got a Jolly Rancher? I'll take one of them bad boys.
That's all I got left. That's all I brought.
No, I ain't gonna eat those. So.
I got plenty more at home.
I will take a watermelon though. So BJ missed the shot on the 4. Leaves Tony a chance here. Just a shot straight up in the corner pocket, top left corner pocket. I haven't had a Jolly Rancher in a long time. See if you can just stop the cue ball or stun it just a little bit to keep a decent angle on the 5. Shoots the ball on the side and misses. Gives BJ another chance to draw back. Shoot the 5 on the side. Got to be careful here because if he drag strokes it, he could pull it all the way back into the top right corner pocket. He's got to hit it pretty good. Oh, he hit it too hard. He calls it in the side, but where is the cue ball going? Tony's starting to get a little smarter with the safeties. That one he tried to create some distance, so it's coming. I think it's just coming a little too late. So, oh, BJ, what are you doing, bro? You're a scratch, dude, man. I think BJ's getting tired. Wonder if he worked today. BJ's stronger than that. BJ normally makes those shots. So Tony's struggling right now. So he calls a safety, which tells me he's learning. But how is he going to play the safe? So he pushes the 5 into the cluster and he hits it a little hard. Tony, a different safe that you could have done. You could have shot the 5. If you shoot the 5 to the right-hand side of the 8 ball, so it'd be your left-hand side, the cue ball could have gone behind the 8, in between the 8, the 6, and the 7. BJ has a huge problem with scratching right now. So BJ's a nice guy and reminds Tony that he's on 2 fouls. So they are playing the 3 foul rules. So Tony has an opportunity to play safe, and if he hooks, BJ has a potential to steal the game from him. Tony really struggling with cue ball control and trying to ask himself, how am I going to get to the 6? All you got to do is give yourself just a kind of a tight little angle and just cut the cue ball in there, or cut the 5 in the corner and bring the cue ball between the 6 and the 8. I think he's nervous to shoot it, but it's actually not as hard as it looks. You just have to know where to position the cue ball to start. Yeah, Susan, I agree. BJ plays slower than that. I've seen him play enough to know. I think he's trying to get comfortable, trying to get it done. He knows that he's close to 15, and he just kind of wants to get it done. And Tony is really trying to learn on the fly, I think, which is helping him rush as well, because Tony's playing fairly slow, but he's also learning in the process. So having never played this type of game before, he's taking his time trying to learn what to do and how to do it. Being an 8-ball player, the mindset of the game is a lot different than playing 10-ball. Oh. Well, it's nice to meet you. So let's see what Tony decides. It looks like he's going to try and just slide the cue ball in there, which is way harder. Yeah, he didn't get over there, so he's buried himself behind the 7. So now Tony has the ultimate decision to make. What would you do, Brian? You've been listening, but you haven't been talking. What would you do?
Man, I don't. It's,
So-
it's different looking at a
Yeah.
computer screen trying to figure out what you do, because you really can't. I can't really pick the right angles up.
Just think percentages here. He's buried. He's buried behind the 7 for sure.
I'm trying to leave the key. I'd be trying to leave the cue ball behind the 7 and the 8, getting that 6 out, and then leave the cue ball behind the 7.
I'm going to foul on purpose. I'm going to lock the 6 up with the 7. I'm just going to roll the 7 into the 6. Try to leave an off angle to where BJ has to play safe and can't make anything. Gives me another trip to the table because I'm buried right now. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Instead of like me trying to play safe, kicking the ball out, leaving it back there, and
Yeah,
fouling anyways.
Yeah, you look at the angle there. I think he almost has to kind of mass say to get in to hit the 6 before the 7 ball. If the 7 ball shows any forward movement towards the right-hand side of the screen, it's going to be a foul. If it moves left, there's a much stronger chance that he hit the 6 first, if he hits the 6. If the 6 moves and the 7 ball goes left, he hit the 6 first. If he hits the 7 ball at all first, it's going to go right. If the 6 moves, that is. Because there is a chance that he could hit the 7. There's a chance, actually, that he could. Yeah, he wants me to watch it.
They're asking for a hit.
Cool.
When you guys watch, make sure to do it.
Oh, yeah. All right, Tony. Whenever you're ready, dude. Go ahead. Yep. Bad hit. Yep. What I was telling them in there, if the 7 ball has any forward movement towards the right side, you probably hit it first. If it moves backwards at all, you got a much better chance of hitting the 6 ball first. Ooh. Huh? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But didn't. BJ is looking to. BJ's not even looking to win the game. He's looking to not scratch. That's what he's looking for right now. Don't scratch. Okay, now this shot, he shouldn't. If he scratches, I might go give him $1. Because that means he fired at it 1 trillion miles an hour.
1 trillion.
Yep.
That was 1
A
trillion.
trillion is more than a billion, numbnuts. All right, zip
He
it.
didn't scratch.
He didn't scratch. (13-5), game 19. So whoever won the leg should be breaking.
Good to do race 20.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
Are you gonna finish at 15 or are you gonna play the 20?
They're playing to 15. Not going to 20.
Come on, bud.
Well, in the meantime, it looks like they had to take a break, so I'm going to give an opportunity to pull these back up so you guys can see what's going on. As a matter of fact, I actually want to focus on this matchup right here. This coming matchup, it's going to be my honor to call because I've gotten to know Abe, and I consider Abe a really good friend, and Dustin is an old friend that I haven't talked with in a number of years now. But we're going to kind of hopefully rekindle a little bit and catch up coming up this coming Saturday. So Abe's coming to meet Dustin to play Race to 20 and 9-ball for $500. So you can catch that action coming to set up on G1 TV starting at 5 o'clock next Saturday. The 3-foul rule is going to be in effect. So basically what that means, if you commit 3 fouls in a row, you automatically lose the game. It's going to be a winter break, which is going to be exciting to call because there's going to be a really good chance we're going to get to see some packs. For those of you who are watching who don't know what a pack is, that is multiple run racks in a row where the same player doesn't miss. So you can catch that if you care to watch pool on G1 TV. This coming Saturday will kick off about 4:30. I'll probably get on and have everything set up and start hyping the matchup. So I got some other matches right there you can look at too. Josh Donaldson and Joey Dyer, and Josh Franklin and Ryan Ponton. So all great matchups coming up on G1 TV in the next 3 weeks. So we'll get back to the action going on now. Scores 13-5. BJ's got 2 more games to go, and Tony's trying to fight. Let's see what happens in rack number 19. Oh, he rattles it. Oh, no, ball goes down. I still don't think he's dry broke yet.
Well, I'm going to ask him a secret.
He's probably going to say, I don't know. That's what I say every time I dry break. I don't know.
Sounded good.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait for that match Saturday. That's going to be
It's going to be a
awesome.
real good match. I already have some reserve seating. Reserve seating's $5. I got some people that have already given me some money for the high-rise chairs back here so they can kind of see everything.
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure of meeting Abe, but I've met Dustin. Been to a few tournaments with him, in-state, out-of-state. Haven't seen him in a while. Talked to him on Facebook a few times, but
Tony pockets the 6-ball to start off, but I think the 8-ball might not have given him much love. I'm not sure yet. Nope, looks like he can see it. He's setting up to put the 1 in the corner. This is another shot that I'm not going to shoot very hard. If I'm playing really good, I might put some high on it and shoot the 2 up in the top right. But me is normally just going to slow roll it. Uh-oh. If you make it, you shoot it slow. You shoot it slow enough on a bar table that you'll have the 2 in the top side pocket, so you don't have to do as much with the cue ball. So BJ should just tap this with just Just a real small amount of right-hand spin, just to get a little spin right off the rail to shoot the 2 in the side. He's jacking up. Yeah, he comes out too far, but he's got the top right. It's okay. Comes back out nicely for the 3 ball. This is a rack. I'm going to do the commentator curse. BJ is good enough to get out of this rack. The problem is getting from the 4 to the 5. If he gets from the 4 to the 5, he's going to be pretty well square. This is a shot that I personally slow roll again because I don't want to get close to the rails to where I have to jack up. See how close to the rail he got? Now he just made it a whole different world because now he's got to jack up and snap draw the cue ball all the way back. So I don't think he's got enough power. I mean, he's got to hammer it to get it with high. You got to hit it hard. Good shot. Come off the rail. BJ stroked the hell out of that. Good for BJ. It's a hell of a shot. Now he's kind of in an awkward spot, though. This is just a punch stroke. I jack up a little bit and come through the center part of the ball. Drive the cue ball off the side rail, and it'll come backwards because you jacked up a little bit. Looks like he's going to... Yeah, he went through the rails. That makes it a little harder. But it's still very makeable. If he takes his time and just puts the 9 in the hole. He's got to be careful, though. Speed's crucial here. He does not want the cue ball to go too far to where he has to kick at the 10 or bank the 10. So you're either going to hit it real soft or you're going to hit it with speed. Uh-oh. He misses the shot. So he's giving Tony another piece of blood. Oh, don't scratch, Tony. There you go. So Tony's got the opportunity to get to 6 here. He missed that?
Yep.
He sure did.
Rattled it.
He rattled it in the pocket. He's not happy. So BJ's going to come over and tap that one in there to get to the hill. 14 to 5. That's a bummer. But he hit it awfully hard in the first place. If you hit that half as hard, you have a much better angle than what he gave him. It's just it's just a sad deal.
He didn't want to draw that 9 ball back as far as he did.
He
got up on that rail.
He hit it with a bunch of high inside, actually, come off the rail. And that's why I said don't scratch, because he almost going forward, I think was the right move. I'd have gone forward too, but he put the right hand on it, which sends it towards the pocket. I'd have just put high on it, and it'd have taken me back to this diamond right there, and I would have been able to. This angle to me is a lot easier than coming through here, because he had an off angle too. He actually cut that ball. He hit it out here instead of straight at it, so he was actually on the inside of the 10 ball. So. Yeah, snaps forward. Man, both these guys need to teach me how to break.
I'm sure for the right amount of money, they'll give lessons.
Probably. WWG1D, man. So this is a safe shot for me. I'm trying to put the cue ball behind the 7. He cuts it and misses it. awards ball in hand to Tony. So the 2 ball was pocketed. So he needs to go from the 1 to the 3. The 10 ball is the ball that is down by the purple 5 ball. So this is when I break my golden rule. Golden rule about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. I'm shooting the 1 ball into the bottom right, and I'm letting the cue ball slide to the rail oh, you know what? I lied. Now that I'm looking at the table, that's the 7 ball. I thought that was the 4 ball that was down in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, but that's actually the 3. So the balls on the break that were made were the 2 ball and the 4 ball. So for this shot, I would actually put the cue ball on the right-hand side of the 1 and shoot it in the bottom left-hand corner. So he's playing safe. He's working there. I'm proud of him. He's starting to see the patterns of the safeties, and he's getting there. I bet if it was a race to 50, he'd be all right. We're not going to go there, though. So BJ's going to super suck this ball. To get to the 3. Now this would be a slow roll with some left-hand spin, just to keep the cue ball on the bottom rail because the 5 ball goes in the side. That's the next shot he has to go after. As long as the cue ball's on the rail, he can cut the 5 into the side, and the cue ball will run into the 10, leaving him fairly good on the 6 ball. So let's see what he does. He'll just shoot this with a little bit of left, just to pocket it and get a nice little push out, push the 10 ball away from the 9 ball. Pretty simple shot, just like that. So now everything is out in the open. Pretty simple to get to. 6 in the top left, 7 ball in the bottom right. The 8 ball in the top left, leading to the 9 ball in the bottom side, and then the 10 ball in the top right-hand portion of your screen. So it's all easy to get to. We just got to make the balls now. G1's rule 1. Make the ball. So he went to the rail there. I think I'd have just tried to kill the cue ball as best I could. I don't think I would have forced it to the rail like that, but he can still get to the 8 ball. I think it's just a little more difficult. Look out, 10. Get out of the way. There you go. So now as long as he makes this, the cue ball has natural roll angle to stay forward to shoot the 9 in the side. He misses the ball. Forgot rule 1.
Didn't make the ball.
Yep, forgot rule 1. Cue ball did its job. Natural angle takes you up there. He'd have hit it. Just got to make it. Jeremy, what up? If you get a call from my buddy Kirk, be nice to him, will you? I had a buddy ask me for your number. Oh, Tony. So Tony, in that instance, man. Tony, in that instance, bud, you gotta either, I mean, I don't mean to sound rude, but you either gotta play that a lot better, or you have to go for the out there. You gotta try for something offensive, because... Oh, did you get your prayer? Oh, man, I think that 10 ball squirked out, didn't it? Yeah, BJ's not happy. I
I can tell him to leave you a voicemail. I don't know if he's a voicemail person or not. He said he wanted a quote on something. So BJ has to kick at the 9 ball now. Jay must have went inside, huh?
I think so.
Calls it in the top left-hand corner. It'll be a great kick shot. I don't think he has enough. He's going to have to put some spin on it to hold it. Oh, he goes short. Scratch it. Man, he's got scratch-itis or something. Yeah, he's... BJ has scratched more in the last 3 games than he has the entire match.
He usually doesn't scratch a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't normally let the cue ball run like that. I mean, if he lets it run, it's controlled. Like it, he just hasn't. He hasn't really controlled it today. Tony, following Rule 1.
Could it be he knows he's up by some?
Oh, sure. In the back of his head, yeah,
trying to get
sure.
it done quick.
Could be anything, yeah. Rushing, wanting to go home. I found out he has to work in the morning, so.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Yeah, Tony's not gonna like that.
all right, BJ. All you gotta do is not scratch.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So this is for the match, folks. And BJ puts it in the hole. So the final score of the matchup is going to be Brian Jason defeating Tony Simpson by a score of 15-5. So again, your match time was right around 3.5 hours. Or I'm sorry, going right at 4 hours. So in between 9:30 and 10 o'clock is what it is. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, real quick shout out to Baxter's Locksmith and Security Solutions for the camera. Jeremy Marson of Marson's Home Improvement for doing all the work in the garage. And Chris Wilder for helping us with the pool table, and Jim Edinger for helping us with anything, our cue needs or anything of that sort. So we're going to take tomorrow off, and we're going to, let me pull out my calendar so I can give you a vibe of what we got going on next here. Let's see, tomorrow is an off day for us. And Wednesday, we've got another local lineup matchup. We've got Scotch doubles 8-ball action. We've got Joey Wheat and Jason Ferris taking on Danny Griggs and Jeremy Woodward. So that action's going to get started at 5 o'clock. So I hope you join us. I'm Eric Naretto with G1 TV signing off. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Again, your final score, Brian Jason 15, Tony Simpson 5.